Hello CPL, what's up? It's Forte here, in continuation of the cast that I started on Tuesday. This cast was meant to happen on Wednesday, didn't really happen, pushed it back. It's supposed to happen yesterday, didn't happen again, pushed it back, so here I am finally, ready to get back in the caster's seat and ready to continue casting more of the semifinals for CPL Season 8. Tonight, it's going to be the Tier 2 games between 2 Fact 2 Furious and GOSU, aka Gloriously Overpowered Sexy Unicorns. Let's take a look at tonight's matchup. So I got 4 series for you today. First one's going to be Protoss player Bagelpirate up against Protoss player OttoRemmer. The next series will be Zerg player Deathstar up against Protoss player iRk-ocoini. More on that later. Put a pin in that. We'll see why that's there. And then we have Protoss player Escalade, representing the Nom clan, up against Zerg player CamoDaz, representing the iRk clan. And then finally we have Terran player SlipItInCIDER versus Zerg player Inteon. Alright, so without further ado, that will trigger me to go over to StarCraft, boot this up. We'll throw ourselves into multiplayer so that we don't have those lags and delays in the mini-map when we're observing. Just a little trick. Little trick that chat taught me a couple of streams ago. Alright, replays. Where are we at? CPL Casting, Season 8, Week 12. The semis. 2FAC versus GOSU. And our first series, Bagelpirate versus OttoRemmer, game number 1. Fire this up, bring you in. Let's go, Streamlabs, find StarCraft. And we're in, and we're starting. First series 4, week 12, tier 2. 2 Fact 2 Furious, GOSU, fight it out. Spawning in the bottom right is the Grey Protoss. It's iRk Otto. Oh, I didn't know he was in the iRk clan. That's cool. That's good to know. Yep, it's Otto, aka OttoRemmer. Spawning in the top left as the Magenta Protoss. It is Bagelpirate. Man, I love that name, and I love saying Bagelpirate. Who needs an eye patch when you can have a bagel? I agree, Escalade. When you can have a bagel. We could have an eye patch and a bagel. And a peg leg. And a scimitar. And now we're getting out of hand. Alright, so I've had the pleasure of not only watching but casting Bagelpirate in the past. And I've never been let down by his games. So definitely an interesting and fun to watch player. OttoRemmer, on the other hand, I'm used to seeing this person as a Terran player, so maybe perhaps a switch to Protoss. I don't know if that happened early on in the season or maybe midway, but here we are, and this is Protoss. He was quite good. He beat me, actually, meching versus Zerg. I'm very proud of him. He was tier 3 last season. Shed a tear. This Goliath push killed me. I was like, oh, I'm so proud of you. Anyway, what's Bagelpirate up to? Sending out the scout, and as is OttoRemmer, we have Gateway Gas opening for Bagelpirate. So far, just a gateway for Otto. Second gateway down, so already a deviation in the tech choices here. A little bit more aggression on Otto's side. Scouts are going to kiss a little bit. Continue scouting and find that neither one of each other is here. Bagelpirate's scout will go down and find Otto's base. And as expected, a cybernetics core goes down to complement the gas opening. Zealot on the way for Bagelpirate as well. Okay, and no gas yet from Otto. And that's because with the 2-gate opening, yeah, we're going to be a little bit more aggressive, and we're going to want all the mineral income we can get for pylons for supply and lots of zealots. Alright, a free probe pick off there, so that's the scout from Bagelpirate getting wiped out. Now he'll play blind. Meanwhile, Otto's scout still alive and well. I'm going to go ahead and scout this tech. Another gateway going down, so 2 gate, cyber. Scout still alive. And now we have a 1, 2, 3 zealot push out from OttoRemmer. No additional zealots queued up just yet, but we are at 24 out of 25 supply, so we are waiting on this pylon. 2 zealots from Bagelpirate. Gonna block the ramp, no doubt on hold position. Dragoon on the way. No range upgrade just yet. And perhaps most notably at this point in the game, OttoRemmer's probe is still alive and scouting in the base. And now it's not. So, the zealot push from Otto arrives. It's just 2 zealots. And it's all about unit control here. Bagelpirate should have the advantage with the Dragoon. And yeah, it looks like the zealot will get cleaned up. It's probably just beelining for the mineral line to try to pick off probes. Yep, there we go. Does get 1 probe pick before it gets killed. Let's take stock of where we're at right now. Bagelpirate 16 probes, OttoRemmer 19 probes. Alright, so economic lead for Otto. However, quite a significant tech lead for Bagelpirate, as we don't even see a cybernetics core out for Otto. As a matter of fact, we're going into a 3rd gateway. Talk about aggression. Alright, very curious to see what this 3rd gate is going to entail for us as we unravel the rest of this game. He is taking a natural expansion, so there is some play behind this. Cyber bottom right. Oh, did I miss it? I missed it. Yeah, okay, he's got it. It's here. Alright, you're right. You're right, Escalade. We got it. Alright, so Bagelpirate taking his nat as well. Still just on the 2 gateways. Core still not spinning. I thought this was like a mandatory thing in PvP to get goon range, because goons are just always in the matchup, right? Oh, and look at this. Bagelpirate's getting so much free damage on this Nexus. Otto's not sending the troop side as ramp down. No, just committed to blocking the ramp instead. Now this Nexus is taking hull damage. These troops do come down to respond to this. There's a lot happening right now. And Otto should be able to push this back. He needs to reinforce these zealots with these goons here, and not attack separately, just throw everything out and push him back. And as you can see, there's the hull damage that was dealt to the Nexus. Not insignificant, but it could be taken advantage of later with a nice timing push, perhaps to try and break it. Take stock of where we're at once again. Alright, so we have 3 gateways on blast for Otto. Getting that goon range is just about to finish. Bagelpirate's nat finishes up, saturating. 3rd gateway coming up. Robotics facility. Maybe I missed it. I must have missed it. He must have got it earlier than this. I'm expecting to see range, so he must have it by now. There's no way. So. Okay, we do see a 2nd gas being taken for Otto. What is that? Okay, robotics of his own. Troop count. So we have 6 goons for Bagelpirate sitting at the nat. 2 additional goons outside of Otto's nat. And here we have 8 dragoons for Otto, plus 4 zealots. 30 workers to 31, so Otto now taking the worker lead. And with the slow pace of this game, third base here for Bagelpirate kind of makes sense. I mean, I'm not a Protoss player. I don't really know the mirror matchup for Protoss at all. At all. But this seems like an okay move right now. I mean, we have confirmation that Otto is still tucked away in his base. We have scouts and sentries set up to see any move-outs. And he has not moved out. So a third is ostensibly a safe choice right now. Until Otto moves out. So these goons will get cleared. And this puts Bagelpirate in the blind, once again. What's the decision? Do we stay here? Do we reinforce? Okay, we have a forge coming on the way. 2 goons here. Will Otto actually push out? Okay, we have the observer. The answer looks like yes. We're going to see a move out from OttoRemmer. Don't have any upgrades just yet. No upgrades on the way for either players. Forge just coming online for Bagelpirate. Still consistently making probes over here for Otto. Let me see what the structure here is. If the game will let me click on it. There it is. Alright, it's a citadel. Here we have the first engagement. Otto poking in, but it looks like Bagelpirate has more than enough Dragoons here to hold this back. Not only that, but the observer here and the observer to follow. To tail this army. Has to be a little careful though, with observers of Otto's own. Yeah, see, you're just going to pick this off. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Okay, lots of goons. Citadel. Additional gateways. Check. More observers. Yeah, and I'm not surprised to see cannons going down here at the third. And probes queued up for saturation. And Otto's looking like he just wants to chill, posturing perhaps just to take this mineral-only third. Spots another observer, kills it with that killer instinct. It's continuing to produce Dragoons. I'm not sure about this gateway. This looks like it might have a building exit block issue. Maybe I'm wrong, at least for Dragoons, because they're really big. I don't know. Okay, I don't see any deviations in tech just yet from Otto. It looks like we're just going to go full-on production from 6 gateways here. Secure the third. Bagelpirate looks like you might want to take this mineral-only fourth, would-be fourth. Still producing a healthy amount of military off of just 4 gateways, 5 gateways. Lots more observers in production. More pylons on the way. Both players doing a good job of scouting the map. Attack upgrade on the way for Bagelpirate. Second forge just completed as well, so aiming for the upgrade advantage here. OttoRemmer mustering forces towards the middle of the map. Nexus at this mineral-only third here is about to complete. And from here it looks like we just develop into a very standard-ish, long, drawn-out macro game. We might see a lot of base taking. We might see some additional tech come out. It's very standstillish right now. Neither player is really wanting to test the waters here. Templar Archives for Bagelpirate. Armor upgrade on the way. +1, about halfway done. Not a whole lot to go over right now. It's really just kind of putting your thumbs together, biding your time, just waiting. Definitely a strong macro game as both players surpassed 50 probes. Very good. Second forge for Otto, and the first one no doubt working on +1 attack. Psionic Storm researching for OttoRemmer. Didn't catch if Bagelpirate already researched it or not, but at this point I'm assuming he's got it. Fifth base on the way at the 9 o'clock position for Bagelpirate. A nice healthy line right here to secure all of this territory. Otto in a nice defensive posture here. Looking like we're going to take this 6 o'clock base here for the fourth. Good gas base. Yes, additional gateways, that's good. Additional gateways over here as well. Stargate, alright, now we're going to see some fun. So Templars are starting to pop out. There's Stargate tech on the way for Bagelpirate. Both players doing a good job, again, of combing the map, positioning observers very well. I'd give that medal to Bagelpirate. These observers can see everything. So it looks like we have a trigger pull here for Otto. Big A move going on right here with multiple control groups, no doubt, as we see the majority, in fact the entirety of his army moving out. Target location seems to be the mineral-only third base for Bagelpirate. He's going to push up this ramp here and engage the army. We'll see how it plays out. I want to see some storms here coming out of these Templars. Alright, Bagelpirate does manage to push back Otto. And speeds for Zealots for Bagelpirate just now kicks in. Right in the midst of the chasing action, trailing of the army. That's actually going to force this encounter here, the engage. There's a Psionic Storm right there. Nice, not too bad, not too bad. And we have a clear victor emerging here, Bagelpirate. Army just quite a league above with all of these speed lots in action with the upgrades, +1/+1. We have no upgrades yet, +1 attack just now kicked in for Otto, so the timing is super unfortunate. And when you go pure Goon, it's really hard to fight Goon Zealot. Oh, look at that, a Dark Templar right in the mix, that's super smart. And Bagelpirate did not bring an observer. There are some nearby. That's going to force the retreat here. Still, though, a very, very good overall engagement for Bagelpirate, who now should hold the advantage. The supplies, 142 versus 92 after melting a ton of these probes with that Psionic Storm. Very nicely done. Okay, lots of macro behind this. We see a lot of Zealot Templar. So a transition in the unit composition for Bagelpirate. And an Arbiter on the way. Stasis is also being researched as well for Bagelpirate. Otto moving out on the map with a rather expensive group of units. Very gas intensive. Look, it's 4 Templars, 5 Templars. And it looks like it's probably going to be caught by Bagelpirate's army. Oh, Bagelpirate decides to retreat. Wait until you have the entirety of your force mustered before committing, I suppose. Okay, both players backing off. Both players playing it kind of easy. A rather defensive and passive game, for sure. And we're seeing the macro engines of both players really kick in. Six gateways, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 gateways for Otto. Gateway count for Bagelpirate, 7, 8, 9. Arbiter about to finish. No recall research, at least not yet. And we have a quiet battlefield. Now at this point we just look, wait for action. Oh, there's that recall research. I'm glad I kept the selection on that Arbiter Tribunal. This could make for a very, very interesting late game. No additional tech out of OttoRemmer, but additional gateways. And now at this point, 18 minutes, 30 seconds into the game, we see Bagelpirate resting on a nice and comfy 200 out of 200 max supply. Arbiter's out, stasis is done. And it looks like Bagelpirate is mobilizing towards the center of the map, drawing a line. Otto sees the potential for an attack and takes it, but quickly becomes surrounded by Bagelpirate's forces and gets some great psionic storms off on these group of goons here. The storm and blue goo is just... I'm left speechless. What an engagement from Bagelpirate, forming that beautiful concave around Otto's army, getting the surround and beautiful storms off. Is going to lead into a vastly superior supply count and what looks like a very fractured game. I don't know if Otto has much life force left. We can put the gateways on production, but Bagelpirate's already at the natural. And yeah, there we see the GG from Otto. So fantastic engagement from Bagelpirate leads to a swiftly taken game. So fantastically done. And our score screen. So Bagelpirate is the first one to put a point on the board for today's stream. And we continue on with our series, the very first series, into game number 2. And we shall start this up. Game number 2 on Neo-Sylphid. So here we are in game number 2 between Bagelpirate and OttoRemmer. Spawning in the top center is the magenta Protoss. It is Bagelpirate. And in the lower right, once again, is the gray Protoss. It is OttoRemmer, under the alias of iRk Clan's Otto. I would like to see a Dark Templar rush. Just because. I don't think it'll happen. Maybe we'll see another Cyber versus 2-gate opening. That was pretty cool. Slow opening. No shenanigans with pylons in the bases. So both players looking like they want to do normal openings. Our gateways going down. Scout going out for Otto, but not yet for Bagelpirate. Bagelpirate taking that gas. So assimilator on the way. And OttoRemmer, once again, opting for the 2-gate opening. So cool. Yeah, we get another core versus 2-gate opening. Here's the Cyber for Bagelpirate up before 2 minutes. Super sexy. Next pylon down for Otto for the supply. First Zealot about to finish. And for Bagelpirate, first Zealot halfway done. Coverage of this CPL Season 8 game brought to you by Victory Brewing Company. Berry Monkey Fruited Sour Tripel Ale, 9.5 alcohol percent per volume. Not bad. Alright, OttoRemmer. Scout in the base. Gonna scout the tech. Sees that this is gonna be... I guess... Well, this looks like 2-gate range opening. Am I right? I don't know. I'm not a Protoss player, but I think this is going to be like 2-gateway Dragoons. And this is the same thing that we see the 3 Zealot push out from the 2-gate opening from Otto. Moving on up. Bagelpirate Scout, still not really sure where it's going. And here we go. The Goon pops out just in time to deal with the first 3 Zealots knocking on the door. Now the first one gets taken down, which enables Otto to get a nice surround with the remaining Zealots here, the 3 here. Sends one to attack the probes and the other 2 to fight the other military units. A brilliant strategy. As it's working, we see probes are successfully being picked off. Bagelpirate doing his best to try and deal with this. We'll clean this up for sure, but the economic damage has already been done. Ooh, snags that last probe. That was awesome. Excellent job done by Otto. And we see the fruits of his labor there in the probe counts now taking. Otto sitting on a nice comfy 20 probes. Bagelpirate at 14. So, economic damage for sure. Otto's going to take this advantage and translate it into another base, taking the natural expansion, Nexus down, producing Dragoons of his own, getting range now, and no range yet for Bagelpirate, unless I missed it. I'm trying to watch it. Here we see, oh. Okay, so here, Citadel, right? And then Robotics. I think this is going to be a DT drop. Yeah? Why else would you get both of these just about at the same time? It looks like DT drop. We'll see Templar Archives, right? Show it to me. That my game sense is like itching. Is DT drop? Okay, I like this. Otto's sending out another scout, another probe scout. This is great. Sometimes this can just walk right in and you'll see everything. Sometimes. And even if it doesn't, you'll probably run into the other player's army, which is going to happen here. And when you do, you get a good look at what they have, how much what they have in their composition. So when you're ahead, when you know you have the worker advantage, I suppose, yeah, it's probably a good idea to send out a second scout. That's pretty cool. Range about to finish for Otto. And yeah, here's the Templar Archives, finishing now for Bagelpirate. Got the Observatory as well. Zealot and Dragoon in production right now. I'm waiting to see the next step. Okay, an Observer first. Huh. Alright. We have a hidden forge on the map, precariously positioned at the top of the empty main base. And Otto's positioned to take the pseudo high ground third here. So he's playing in a more defensive manner. What is this? Oh. Okay. So we're going to take this base and then secure it with the cannons here. Alright. Clever move. Risky, but clever. We'll see if it pays off. You got the two cannons here, and they're both covering a very tight choke. Now, see, here's the thing. Otto's sending out scouts. OttoRemmer's been doing a brilliant job of scouting, and right here, this lets him know there is a hidden third on the map. And this triggers Otto to send his army towards that base. We'll see if... no, we're not going to see if Bagelpirate can save it. He's just going to lose it. This army is tucked up here at the natural, which hasn't even been taken yet. And the only thing to defend this quote-unquote hidden base, these two cannons, is this one cannon is now nothing. Is this cannon warping? Is this dead cannon? Is nothing. So Bagelpirate's going to pay the price for such a risky strategy. Sometimes it'll pay off for you. Your opponent won't scout it, or won't scout it in time before you get it up and running. But in cases like this, where Otto has displayed a good vigilance in scouting the map, well, I mean, at least get in here and take out the Nexus, please. You've given Bagelpirate a lot of time to respond here, and respond he has. So, okay. Alright, if we reinforce with these bad boys and get in here and make sure we're fighting with the entirety of our army, then we can probably push Otto out, but that's not going to happen since we just lost quite an important battle here. And who is what? Alright, don't disturb me. So we have 4 goons left for Bagelpirate. They are on retreat because... Oh, that was cool! Bagelpirate doing a very good job of keeping track of his opponent's units, and also microing and taking out 2 zealots, and losing just 1 goon for it. But even though the cool micro tricks are over, Otto still has the superior numbers here, and yeah, Bagelpirate's just going to leave. Once, you know, you have a significant number of goons over your opponent, you can just run on in and kill them. So that'll be game number 2. Taken for OttoRemmer, putting us 1-1, bringing us to game number 3. Here's the score screen. 9 minutes, 54 seconds, a much faster game. Very cool that the first series tonight is already going to game 3. We'll host that in, switch the game scene, fire this up. Game number 3 on butter. This is it. This game will determine the winner for the series in the Week 12 Tier 2 games, the semifinals, between GOSU and 2Fact2 Furious, spawning in the top right corner once again as the beautiful magenta Protoss, it is Bagelpirate. And once again as the gray Protoss spawning in the bottom right, it is OttoRemmer, aka iRk-Otto. I'd iRk clan. Cool. Good for you, man. And just Otto for the first name, huh? Alright. Cool. I'm watching this player change and develop over time. And it feels like watching someone grow up. In a very digital, gamey way. I always love to see players progress, move up in tiers, Been here for 3 seasons now. Seems like a lifetime, though. Okay, gateway openings. Yeah, standard gateway openings here. Bagelpirate gonna send a scout out. Ooh, auto-checking for anything sneaky up here. Being pretty vigilant. Scouting his whole main, but not his whole nat. Moving on out, scouts will bump paths. Bagelpirate going for the gas opening, so the cyber opening. Otto going for the 2-gate opening. So, 2 players who are very firm in what they like to play for the mirror matchup. Zealot immediately on the way for Otto. And a Zealot just now on the way for Bagelpirate, after placing down the Cyber Core, of course. Otto with a scouting probe in the base, sees the tech, sees the opening. Same thing for Bagelpirate. Oh, don't lose the scouting probe. It could be useful, for as long as you keep it alive. So we do get confirmation for Bagelpirate that it's a 2-gate opening with a gas follow-up. Second gateway down for Bagelpirate now, just to match the production power that Otto has. And ooh, very nice probe block. For just a split second there. Zealot gets some additional damage off on that probe. Now we're sitting at 7 HP. Shields are regenning. Second Zealot popping. And look at this. Otto's actually sending his troops out across the map. Okay, it's the 3 Zealot move out again, which is typical of the 2-gate opening, I believe. This is something I think you always want to do when you 2-gate. Now we're stopping production here. Getting the Cyber Core, already collecting gas, so we're ready to transition. And yeah, the Goon's gonna pop out once again, just in the nick of time to deal with the 3 Zealots that are coming in. Otto going to use his favorite tactic, gets 1 probe, splitting off some of the Zealots to go attack the probes. Now using all of the Zealots. Picks off a total of 2 probes so far. Alright, not that clean this time. Bagelpirate doing a much better job of defending. Otto only getting 2 kills, 2 probe kills for the entirety of 3 Zealots and 1 probe. Not the best engage. And taking stock of where we're at, looking at the probe count, Otto's only ahead by 1 worker. And that just now got matched by Bagelpirate, so we're standing firm on pretty even ground here. Both players looking like they just want to take their natural and continue the macro route moving forward. This is our natural nexus for Bagelpirate going down. And I expect that once this 300 turns into 400 for Otto, we'll see the nexus move drop down right here. Alright, so this seems to be very stylistic for Otto. We have this 3-gate range. What is that? Robotics. So 3-gate robo opening into natural. Bagelpirate going 2-gate cyber natural into observer. And 2-gate observer I think is super duper safe. Super duper safe. Otto moving out on the map again with his troops, going to play the aggressive game and apply some pressure. The observer for Bagelpirate catches this. And we'll see if Otto takes the engage. No natural down just yet for Otto. So we are on a little bit of a clock here, and Otto donating 1 Zealot for free. Gonna be a little unfortunate. Perhaps a scouting zealot just to test and see army size and composition, but I'd rather not lose the zealot. Okay, the Nat Next is finished for Bagelpirate. The Nat Next for Otto just started, so quite an economic edge for Bagelpirate. If he manages to just hold for a while to make that advantage truly kick in. And right now, it's, once again, a very quiet battlefield. So the longer this goes on, the more of an advantage grows for Bagelpirate in this particular game. And also, from an information standpoint, we just saw Bagelpirate's observer in the main base, and now here at the natural, sees everything that Otto is doing. So nothing really hidden or mystery. Bagelpirate can prepare for this as necessary. Getting a fourth gateway, still producing off these three. Grabbing second gas, still continuing to amass an army. And a move out from Otto. And a move back. Change his mind. Probe here at a would-be third. Or perhaps a scouter probe. Looks like it's going to scout, yeah, for the gas third up here. Okay, why has probe production stopped, I wonder? And we are supply blocked now. Both players are supply blocked right now, but if we look, probe count's 33 to 33. We're actually economically on even ground here for both players, so I think Bagelpirate might have slipped on a couple of probe rounds here. Otto going to decide to pull the trigger once again, moving out on the map. Small task force. One control group right here. Bagelpirate has more than enough to answer it, should it come knocking on his front door. Another gateway going down. Finally researching goon range. Templar Archives on the way. So Bagelpirate starting to shape up, tech up, bulk up. Otto posturing back and forth aggressively with his army, but not committing to anything. Still only on 3 gateways. What do we got here? A forge and a citadel. So starting to catch up on tech. I'd say the advantage here still is held by Bagelpirate, who has further tech and additional production. We don't see that for Otto. There's no additional production here, just 3 gateways. That's not really significant. And Citadel just now coming into play is really just playing catch-up with Bagelpirate, who meanwhile is now taking another base, a gas third. Nice healthy spread of the army right here to control the center of this part of the map that connects the natural to the third. Otto just tucking up in his natural. Finally deploying more gateways. Here we go. This is what we need. Some additional production. Here's Otto's observer inside of Bagelpirate's base. Unanswered, it seems, so we'll get a full scout off. And I like this from Bagelpirate, just sending out these patrolling goons to check things out. It pays to be vigilant sometimes. Yeah, and just once again, a quiet battlefield. I think that's the perfect description for this. It's the only thing that we hear this game really is the sound of probes mining. And things warping in. That's really been it. Alright, so here we go. Otto's got a sizable army now. some observers. Is finally going to dedicate towards approaching and seizing control of real estate on Bagelpirate's side of the map, but it's backing out a little bit. I do like the back and forth. It's very cautious. It's very cautious gameplay, but also it lets you not commit and be safe that way, but still kind of scout and check things out a little bit. Alright, so the gas third's operational for Bagelpirate. We don't have the geyser taken just yet. Spending some of those minerals, putting up a good number of cannons. 5. Wow, that's quite a lot. But defense can be a worthwhile investment. Otto sending out a probe scout that might actually run into this third base. Yeah, and it looks like it will. Maybe, perhaps. Otto once again moving out with the bulk of his army, which again, composition-wise, is mostly just Dragoon, right? And no upgrades. We're 12.5 minutes in, no upgrades. Okay, Otto just checking things out up here with the scout and then dropping a pylon here. We'll see what happens. Ooh, boy, Bagelpirate comes in with these scouting units, finds whatever this is and shuts it down real quick. But that triggers Otto's army into action. And it's going to send it up here, and that triggers Bagelpirate into action. And his army's going to move towards this way. And that means their armies are most likely going to meet right about here. And then the action can begin, we can start clapping, and yay, action. Please. No, please. Run into each other. Fight for my amusement. Oh, good lord, this is going to be another long game, isn't it? Alright, I don't think so, because Otto sees what's happening here. A lot of the army is in motion for Bagelpirate, who's got to turn around. Or I guess continue pressing in here, but we need to see some Templars being utilized here. Let's see the storm. We don't see good storms here. Otto's going to take this with the superior goon numbers. Alright, the storms do come down. They are looking pretty good. Yeah, those are some juicy storms, but is it enough? Archon's morphing perhaps in a bit of desperation. This comes down to just a few goons, and it looks like Bagelpirate just barely manages to hold this. Meanwhile, in Otto's natural, was not able to repel the small detachment of troops that was sent down to deal with this. Losing a lot of probes. Now Otto sitting on 30 probes to Bagelpirate's 51. Lots of economic damage done. Otto's reinforcing troops coming out of the gateway, poised to clean this up. Is it enough? These are 2 Archons with +1 attack here. We'll see what happens. Oof, getting some good hits. Alright, one of the Archons goes down. This looks like it should be enough to push this back, clean this up. OttoRemmer can hopefully stabilize from this point on. Okay, so we got some minerals being mined here. Only 6 probes, no gas just yet, so this third base isn't super impactful. Good saturation here and here. Almost mined out in the main here. No doubt the same for OttoRemmer as well. Yeah, almost mined out. Still got some additional minerals left here. What tech are we now pursuing? Also Templars for Otto. Third base discovered with this floating observer. Bagelpirate now has confirmation on this base. Taking another 4th gas base. Floating observer from Otto, getting confirmation on that. Alright, 2 forges spinning for Bagelpirate. Good. Additional gateways going down. Good. And yeah, 144 supply to 73. So Bagelpirate in a nice, comfortable lead right now. And it looks like an exchanging of hands here as Otto's small fragmented army comes up, shuts down this fourth base here. But meanwhile, Bagelpirate's army attacks this gas third and kills a lot of the probes. And in fact, I think all of the probes. And will there be an answer to this? This base is for sure dead. So, this will push OttoRemmer back down to 2 bases versus Bagelpirate's 3.5 as this one continues warping in. Otto decides to go for the throat and engage the army. Great storm from Bagelpirate goes off right in the middle here. Another storm in the same spot. Lots of damage done to these units. Good storms going off for Otto now. Beautiful engagement and surround from Bagelpirate here, coupled with this storm. Completely wipes out Otto's remaining forces. And we should be seeing a GG here. Yeah, GG, well played. That was indeed well played right here, that battle. Fantastically done from Bagelpirate, wrapping up, taking the series 2-1. Here's our score screen. We'll put another notch on Bagelpirate's belt. And thus completes the first series of tonight's cast. Coming up next, stay tuned for Deathstar versus OttoRemmer. Game number 1, Polypoid, booting this up. Let's bring you guys in, fire it up. So here we are on Polypoid for game number 1, a Zerg versus Protoss, first one of the night. Spawning in the top right corner is the purple Protoss. It is iRk-CamoDaz. And spawning in the top left corner is the blue Zerg. It is Deathstar 42. Okay, 2 players that I'm a little familiar with, not super familiar with. I think OttoRemmer race picks, if I'm remembering correctly. And I had to ask her how to pronounce her name, because there's like 4 different ways you could say this. Deathstar, on the other hand, I could have swore Deathstar was a Terran player. Maybe I'm wrong, or perhaps also another race picker. But we're up against Protoss, so that wouldn't make sense. Or would it, actually? Would you want to play Protoss as a Terran? I thought not. Anyway, Scout's gonna go out for both players. Well, just the Overlord here for Deathstar. Okay, and you're gonna choose the Forge opening. And here we see Deathstar going up in supply. So perhaps in 11 hatch with 300 minerals banked up. That's what it looks like. There it is. Okay, 11 hatch. Great versus Forge Fast Expand because Protoss doesn't have a way to punish this early. In fact, OttoRemmer doesn't have enough information to really determine whether or not it's safe to expand, so has to put down the first cannon. Probe, unfortunately, not going to find Zerg here, so gets the last scout, unfortunately. Okay, spawning pool, regular timing, continuing to drone up. Should see, yeah, here's the drone, probably moving out for the 3rd base. And yeah, super unfortunate. OttoRemmer's playing this very, very, very safely by getting not only a 2nd cannon, but pulling additional probes, thinking this could be a 9-pull speed. Scout does come in, finds that it's going to be an early hatch. So he sent everything back, and smartly cancels the cannon, realizing that it's not necessary. Pool just now pops. We should probably see Ocoini starting to posture for a Nexus down here. Here's Deathstar's third taken. Very standard for Zerg versus Protoss. And gas going down. A little bit oversaturated in the main. Right, this is 11. Yeah, I think we just want 9. And then begin saturating here. 2 Zerglings out. Hidden probe, tucked away in the corner here. Very nice. This will definitely come in handy for scouting later on. Zergling's going to move across the map. Probably just to peek at the front. Try to catch any move outs. See where they're going, see what they are. Oh, okay. Alright, so we're losing 1 Zergling. We'll check the front. We'll see another cannon warping in. Oh. So, yeah, I guess if you see 1 Zergling that just rushes in and commits real hard, I guess the first thing you might think is, oh, shoot, that's probably a Zergling rush coming at me. So, Ocoini playing very, very cautiously here, pulling the probes to the front here. But then in a nice smooth transition, uses the natural warping in, keeps the probes here and just assigns them to mine. Very nicely done. Macro hatch here. Appropriately positioned. Blocking off the ramp here. Hydralisk Den. Alright, so we're choosing to forego Layer Tech and Spire Tech. We're getting the Hydralisk Den now. So this is like a 4-hatch Hydra, getting Hydra speed. So this will be a timing / pressure build from Deathstar. Finally getting that layer. Another cannon warping in for Ocoini. Another 2 cannons. So playing very, very cautiously here. Not willing to take risks. And yeah, the probe did get in. Doesn't see a layer, but sees a Hydra Den. It's probably what this response came from. I might have just missed that. But an appropriate response nonetheless. Evolution chamber going down. And oh, creep colony. Alright. Alright, so Ocoini has chosen not to go the Stargate route, just going straight for Citadel. Now, this will result in much faster speed lots and much faster Templars with Storm coming out. You can couple this with the +1 upgrade, which she is doing here at the Forge, that we'll research. +1 speed lots can be quite a powerful push at around 7 minutes, 30 seconds. And then the Templar that come out with Storm afterwards can make for a very nice push afterwards. See, we got Speedlings, 6 in total moving out here, just parked outside of Protoss's base. This will check for any kind of move outs, whatever it might be, scouts, scouting probes, or the entire army coming at you. So it's very nice as a Zerg player to kind of do this when you can. You don't have vision of what they're doing, but if they come out, you will see it. So very, very nice. Another cannon coming down for Ocoini. +1, about 60-65% done. 5 gateways in total. Zealot speed, about 70% done. Let's check things out on Zerg's side. We are starting to mass up Hydralisks. We're getting a second evolution chamber. Lurker aspect has just started, so that probably tells me that range just finished. Another macro hatch here at the third. 2 sunken colonies for additional defense. This will cut into Deathstar's economy, and also it will cut into the Hydra count. But if you think it's a necessary investment, The additional defense might come in handy later. And here we see the Speed Zealot move out from OttoRemmer coming in just in time. His +1 weapons is about to finish. Speed has already finished, and we have a nice healthy number of Zealots that we can just use and push out on the map with 8 in total. Zerglings will be no match for these dudes. And Hydras will also have a rather difficult time against them. This base is impenetrable because of the sunken colonies. Even if all 8 decided to attack this, that would not work out. Some Zerglings responding, Zealots massing up outside the natural. Looks like we might see an attack into the natural, but this is where most of Deathstar's Hydralisks are, so we might see a full-out battle. No, okay, and you're going to pull back with the Zealots here. Taking a third at the 3 o'clock gas base. Observatory on the way. Psionic Storm on the way. Testing the front out, seeing the number of Hydralisks, deciding no, probably not a good idea to attack. Backs out. Very respectable decision. We have a good number of Hydralisks fielded here from Deathstar. The +1 missiles is not going to be done anytime soon, so their DPS is going to be lacking for a little bit. Carapace is pretty close to finishing though. And here we kind of have ourselves like a sort of a pincer maneuver, but this side of the Zerg forces is rather weak. And Protoss is just going to push right through that. Oh, we're going to lose these 2 Zealots here. Alright, does pull back in time. Deathstar going to take this 4th base, the mineral only. Starting to have quite a considerable and formidable number of Hydralisks fielded. Carapace kicked in, +1. Starting to build down here in the lower right spawn. Protoss pylon. Here we go. Templars coming out. First storm goes off, not too bad. Second one's a whiff. Third one's pretty good. We do lose a Templar. 2 Templars lost in total, 3 remain. Zealot's going to push up here, clean the tail end of this Zerg army. Yeah, and we'll see. Oh no, these Templars getting caught out and lost. That's very, very, very unfortunate. Super important units, especially this point in the game. And there's definitely enough Zealots here to clean up these Hydras, but they do manage to take out all of the cannons. So a little bit of a headache for Protoss, but not a big deal. +1 armor for Protoss, about 75% complete. Producing out of 2 out of 5 gateways right now. 6th gateway on production. Small engagement. Good pick off on the Observer. And ooh, a very nice storm. Captures a lot of these Hydralisks. Cleans this up, no problem. Lurkers are now fielded and coming into play. Dark Templar snags 1 kill before getting picked off, with Speed Lords now being supporting this army here. We got more Lurkers here, more Hydras coming here. Lots of Hydras in production. Lots of Hydras in production. +1/+1 for Zerg's army. Protoss army, +1/+1. No shields. Goon range about halfway done, and we're starting to see Goon production come through now. Right, so Zerg gets caught with their pants down, has to walk back. But then more Hydras are coming from the side, and there's lots of Hydras from the top, including Lurkers. OttoRemmer doing a really good job of being very careful. Oh, losing an Observer and a Goon. A little unfortunate, and gets cut off right here. Ooh, what a move from Deathstar, cutting the main army off from the natural expansion. Now gonna force the engagement. Lurker's already burrowed in position. This is going to push Protoss's army back. There's just not enough to deal with the Zerg here. Fantastic Storm goes off, takes out a bunch of Hydras. But it's still not going to be enough. Protoss, the outstanding army that's on the map, is not going to be able to get back home. And oh, double Observer plus Templar snipe. These Hydralisks are definitely worth their weight in salt. In gold, perhaps. Meanwhile, back at Okoini's base, Protoss, we have the next level of weapons being researched. Looks like it's about 40-45% done. 6 gateways going. Continuing to produce more units. Fragmented army catches the 4th base, the mineral only. It's going to snag this hatchery kill. Not before being surrounded by Hydralisks, however, so this part of the Protoss army that's out on the map still gonna get cleaned up for Deathstar. Very, very nice. And a test of the front. We see lots of Hydralisk corpses here. Looks like Deathstar decided to make a push on Okoini. Didn't work out. So we'll have to wait, perhaps bide time, tech up, take more bases. We see 15 Hydralisks in production for Deathstar, so definitely power pushing here. More cannons being worked in here, but they will be contested by these Hydralisks, and it looks like there's definitely enough here to make a significant impact. Some of the probes get pulled, but I mean, these are 1-1 Hydras. Yeah, the probes go down real fast, so lots of economic damage being done to Okoini here. And the remaining other parts of the fragmented Protoss forces that were on the map finally getting cleaned up once and for all here. And with the Lurkers poised to hit anything that comes out of the mat, there is nothing that Okoini can do to save this 3rd base here at the 3 o'clock. So unfortunately this base will go down, and this puts Deathstar in a nice, healthy, competent lead. We do have another Protoss base that was taken down here for Okoini, but it's not quite operational just yet. We have 5 probes mining on minerals, 1 in the gas with a gateway that's positioned a little in the way. But Deathstar knows about this base. Hydralisks are here. They're pushing forward on it. This should get cleaned up, but the fact that Deathstar knows about this puts it in jeopardy. Another battle up here right outside of the Nat for Protoss that I did miss, but we see that it was another push for Zerg that didn't go so well. So Okoini doing a good job of holding back Deathstar's army. Still remaining in the game. Some storms blanketing the area to clear out the Lurkers. 1 unnecessary, but we still got the Lurkers. 2 remain. Some Hydras come up. That's a decent storm. Okoini should be able to clean this up, no problem. Seize control of the high ground here. And oh no, don't back up. You got it. You got it. Well, bot right, still being consistently sieged by Zerg. Actually, the rest of it's just this pack of 3 Hydras here, but apparently it's more than enough to wipe this base's probes out. More fighting being done here. Probes being conscripted into the army. Alright, maybe not. Okay, so Okoini gonna seize this high ground here. A very valuable location to seize. Good territory to hold. Oh, we're gonna get a Lurker for free, that's always good. Moving the forces down here. Oh, look at that. Save the Hydra by making a Lurker egg. Well, when you're surrounded by 3 Zealots, I don't think it's worth it. Yeah, cancels it. Good play. Good play from both players here. Oh, these eggs gonna get caught with their pants down here this game. Deathstar gonna have to cancel these. Yep. And loses all of these Hydras, so this pack is dead. Little bits here and there for Protoss will slowly but gradually balance out where Okoini is in comparison to Deathstar. Another good engagement here for Protoss. 3 more Hydralisks for free. And looking like we're seizing map control pretty well for Protoss. I must say, I am impressed with this little turnaround here. Okay, so we're going to engage on these lurkers here, and no way is this base going down. No way. That's not happening. Not with this army size. Look at this. My god, this is a fortress. It's a fortress of Zerg. Okay, OttoRemmer gonna punch in from the right side, takes out 1 lurker. Sends out a threatening storm, kills 1 Hydra with it. Yeah, Alright, so 1 storm weakens a lurker, kills a Hydra. Okay, she thinks better of it, backs out. Meanwhile, on the bottom side of the map, lots of lurkers moving out. A couple Hydras here to assist them. Beautiful burrow. Kills the Templars in a bit of desperation, sends out a storm. Only 1 storm out of 2 hits only 1 lurker. And ultimately the Templars fall. And just look at this minimap. Look at this Protoss action, mobilizing forces from Protoss right here, OttoRemmer, in a nice display of unit control. Not only answering everything that Deathstar is sending, seizing control of the bottom right side of the map, seizing control of the center of the map. I'm quite impressed. Deathstar moving in here with a force of quite a lot of lurkers, actually. Let's see here, that's 6. OttoRemmer responding nicely with storms. Not the best placed storms, but at least we're hitting the lurkers. But we don't have any observers. Oh no, the probes come in. And now we're starting to lose probes here. Another storm goes down. Finally the observer comes in. OttoRemmer cleans up the remaining forces from Deathstar here in the bottom right, but he's not done trying to push in and muscle his way through. More Hydralisks come here, but I think there's definitely enough for OttoRemmer. She's got... Oh, the storms are beautiful. Fantastic. Yeah, definitely has enough to clean this up. More Zerg reinforcements moving down towards the bottom right. The attack does not cease. Deathstar is relentless. So more forces move in. We got a Dark Templar here, that's nice. I don't see an Overlord for miles. So, oh wow, the Storm lead. That was led, and that was beautiful. Very well placed. And yeah, this Dark Templar will throw quite a wrench into things. Okay, we do have an Overlord here, so it's not a big issue. Yeah, it gets picked off real quick. And, okay, we have a lot of Hydralisks here. Deathstar's making some headway. There needs to be more of an answer here for OttoRemmer, otherwise both of these bases are going to fall. The response looks like a mobilization from the main, but it's so far away. Will she make it there in time to save these bases? Most certainly not the natural. Here we have the natural nexus go down. And she's going to try to seize control of the top of the ramp here, but unfortunately the Archon and the Zealot go down. There's nothing else here. Alright, so the speed lots do come in. They should be able to clean these Zealots up. Now, I was kind of expecting to see Zerg reinforcements at this point. Alright, got some lurkers here, that's good. Do we have a way to detect them? I don't see any observers. This one's free, that's nice. Okay, we have a cannon. That's great, actually. That'll hold that back. Here are the Zerg reinforcements, and oh my goodness, no! 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 OttoRemmer! Alright, catches it at the last second. The storms were good, but unfortunately... Oh no. Oh no. That was a lot of value right there. Oh no, not these ones too! Yeah, these ones too. Alright, saving one. Using its storm. Not a great storm though. That's a great storm. More Zerg reinforcements are trickling in. There's enough? Well, alright, so she's bulked up with the 4 gateways that are here. If OttoRemmer could just hold the high ground right here, and just hold this. Don't let Zerg up the ramp. How many storms do we have? Oh, we don't have any storms. None of these Templar have energy. Ah, but it does not matter. Deathstar backs off, it seems. Or is he simply preparing? He is preparing. More lurkers being morphed. More Hydralisks up here. Let's take stock of where we're at on the map, though. We've got the bot left being taken for Zerg. Bot left's Nat. Already nicely saturated on the mineral front. 9 o'clock, almost mined out. Fortress of Solitude. Working nicely. Good number of macro hatches. Ooh, another lurker fell here. And yeah, as I said, as long as this ramp is held, Protoss will be able to hold on to this base no problem. Oh no! At the 3 o'clock, Protoss is losing not only a couple of probes here, ooh, that was really close. We're also losing the Nexus here. And more conscripted drones. Not again! Not again. Nope. Nope. OttoRemmer was not ready to let that happen again. Storms the crap out of those Hydras. And her own Observer. Gets the Protoss forces down the ramp, with the Observer cleans up these lurkers no problem. 3 more do arrive. Hydralisks on the way to back this up. Deathstar not ready to give up the assault on the bottom right. See the upgrades. 2-2 for range on Zerg. Protoss ground upgrades. +3 attack, +1 armor. We have 40 drones to 28 probes. The 28 probe number is going to be a problem the longer this game persists. We have more Zerg is just continuing to pour in. And we need every single Protoss unit here, and we're losing some. Yeah, we're losing too many now. Zerg numbers are starting to kick in. Lurkers being birthed. This ramp under siege once again. And the bottom right base for OttoRemmer is under threat once more. Valiant probe attacks the 12 o'clock base. And before getting cleaned up by Hydralisks. No more reinforcements up here. Zerg starting to make some serious headway in this bottom right base. Very nice storm here. Weakens these Hydras, takes out 2, weakens this lurker. Yeah, so the advantage is quite significant for Zerg. I don't see a way out of this game for Protoss. So we should be seeing a GG here pretty soon from OttoRemmer. It was a long game, valiantly fought, good scenes. Wow, super smiley, really good. GG. Deathstar, you so good. GG. The game's over, and game number 1 for this series will be given to Deathstar. Be right back, quick drink. Super cool game. Here's our score screen. Pretty close. Pretty close. Very nice. Nice healthy APMs. 27 minutes of brawling. How's about that? So we'll put a point on side for Deathstar. And now we're going into game number 2 for the second series here. Game number 2 on Neosilphid. Bring you in, fire it up. Ah-ha-ha-ha. Remember that pin that I told you to put in? Remember that star that was next to Okoini's name? Remember that? Boom! Now it's a TVZ. What? What's happening? Spawning in the top middle, 12 o'clock, as the purple Terran. It is iRk Clan's Okoini. And once again, as the blue Zerg spawning in the bottom left, it's Deathstar. Hope we make it to Game 3 then. Look at this manner. Such manner. He's like, haha, I don't. I want to kill you now. Need some PVZ revenge. Okay, so looks like we already have some SimCity being poised to block off this main to natural choke. It's actually this big. So, depot on top, units will stop. Depot below, units will flow. So we already see the depot positioned on top, which is correct. Very good. Barracks can fit right here, and it will block everything. Oh, okay. Barracks here, another supply depot here. And this will block everything. Scouting SCB going out for Okoini's. What are we doing here? We're taking our net. What's that? Okay, 11. Alright, so 12 hatch from Deathstar. Very, very standard versus Terran. 11 pool. And then 10 gas for 2 hatch tech play. Do see a drone being made, second drone being made, so this is heavy telegraphing that this will actually be a 3 hatchery opening. Okoini's SCV scout, finding Deathstar's base, sees the natural. And we're up to 13 drone supply for Deathstar. The next move should be a hatchery, and that will confirm that this is a 3 hatchery opening. Cool. A bunker. As we can see, there's not even a single Marine on the map, but Deathstar does not know that. So Okoini is doing a nice job of playing some mind games here, and the mind games are successful as we see some drones being pulled off of the mineral line. This interrupts the Zerg mining and slows down Deathstar just a little bit, so a nice play from Okoini there. 6 Zerglings on the way, hatching now. That's a pretty full commitment right there. 4 of these could have been 2 more drones. So we're looking to really see what can happen here. And here is the 3rd hatchery taken. Deathstar has done a slight deviation to the normal 3 hatch opening, in which he's gotten the Zerglings and then taken the gas first and then gotten the 3rd hatch. So these 6 Zerglings are moving out on the map. This is, at the current moment, impenetrable. And we'll see that. Deathstar will see that, and we'll have to back out with the Zerglings. Okoini seeming to show a little bit of player preference in being very safe. Getting the natural CC inside the base, tucked behind the wall. Super, super duper safe. And getting a factory behind, and we're mining gas consistently. Alright, so a barracks expand 111 type opening from Terran here. I think this is probably a very difficult build to pull off, because when you do any kind of 111 opening as Terran versus Zerg, every single unit is so incredibly valuable. If you lose Even just 1 or 2 units, it can put you way far behind. Deathstar checking things out, checking the Marine count out. How did I miss this? It's well, what is what is happening here? We have an eBay floating in. A scouting eBay. So this is going to scout everything, which is great for OCOINI. So we see the layers on the way. We see a hydralisk den. That's really important. No clue what this bunker's about. No clue at all. Gonna push out the Marines here. With the vulture back supporting, I fully endorse this idea. You can walk across the map, maybe force a sunken or two. And yeah. Huge sunken wall. Constructed for Deathstar at the natural to choke. Deathstar grabbing his nat gas. Lurker aspect being researched. Engineering bay catching everything that's happening. Larva not being spent. Siege mode being researched for OCOINI. This game is getting really cool. Starport on the way. Oh, this Overlord got out for free. Tisk, tisk. Alright. Second factory, second shop. Very cool. Siege tanks in production. Terran natural mining. Mining away. No gas just yet. Deathstar taking the pseudo high ground third, which has reduced resources. And these hydralisks are finally going to clear out this pesky engineering bay that's floating over all your stuff and scouting everything that you're doing, including making 2 evolution chambers for upgrading hydralisk stuff. That goes down. We hear a scan going off. Okay, it's for the main. We see the spire. So OCOINI now knows that Mutalisk Scourge is a possibility coming forward in the next minute or two. Nice defensive position here at the natural. Starting to produce vultures now. Vultures have mines. OCOINI taking a ninja base in the unspawned in main base in the bottom right. And just lots of Hydra production for Zerg. Hydra upgrades at the evolution chambers. Almost at 50%. Spire's about to complete, maybe 80%. Lots of overlords and drones in production. Sloverlords. Gonna find vultures and mines out on the map. Clear that. Science facility. Ooh, dropship. 4 vultures. Alright. Sexy time. Let's do it. Zergling's trying to run in for Deathstar. 1 does get in. Gonna get quite the scout off. Keeping track of this dropship right here with 4 vultures in it. We'll see what that does in just a second. Scans going off. Checking the main out. Nothing interesting just yet. Here comes this dropship. Ooh. There, it's visible now. Dropping 2 vultures here and probably 2 more in the main. I like the split. Mutalisks pop just in time. A couple of drones going down here. Drones getting pulled here. Mines being laid. Okay, so a couple of drones got killed here from the vulture harass from these Mutalisks that popped out just in time. A few more drones here and there, it looks like. Okay, all the vultures have been cleaned up, but big drone pull right here. So a lot of lost mining time for Zerg. Oh no, the ninja base got found. Not only found, but usurped. Completely taken over by Deathstar, who's now taking the bottom right main for his own. Hydralisks with 1/1 upgrades moving up. What? This bunker is wild. I don't understand it. It's crazy. It's got 2 Marines in it. Like, I don't... Maybe it's meant to just deny this base? It's so... That's crazy. Alright, so we're getting to the point where I'm starting to get a little worried for Okoini. Okay, good turret coverage. Yeah, send these mutas packing. But I'm starting to get worried because there's been a good number of vultures produced, and she's lost a lot of them. So we have some Terran mech here. You know, we got Goliath siege tanks. That's good and all, but the total army size has been reduced. And we're looking at a 78 supply Terran versus a 67 supply Zerg, and that gap's kind of closing. You know, 4th base is about to pop. Terran's still on 2. And what else do we have here? I mean, okay, she's trying to seize the pseudo high ground 3rd. Very good. Gotta get your units up here though too. See, Zerg's moved into position to try and deny this. Siege tank's definitely gonna help here. The command center almost landed on that Hydralisk. I wish it would have crushed it. I wish that was even possible. But what do you expect from a game from 1998? Alright, so this base is popped for Deathstar. Looking like we're starting to saturate it. Hydra's being fielded. Where are we at on the upgrade front? Okay, just Carapace on the way right now. So +1/+1 with +2 Carapace. Kind of on the way. Not really anywhere near done. Terran successfully taking the pseudo high ground 3rd, grabbing the gas, putting up turrets. I love it. Good tank spread. Yeah, at this point, with, oh, look at this, these vultures getting in down here. Oh, that's so good. Mind the Hydras, gonna get some free drone kills. Good harassment here from Okoini. But where we're at in the game, I'm honestly surprised we don't see queens. We got the Queen's Nest, no hive yet. So what did we get this for? Now I'm watching, waiting. Zerg has a pretty healthy sized army here, mostly consisting of Hydralisks. These vultures in the pot right get cleaned up from Hydras. And the pace of this game slows down. Scan goes down. Okoini finds his 3rd here. Pretty undefended. Goliath snags a drone kill. That's nice. Nice. This one Goliath is getting so much damage done. Relative to just being 1 unit. Look at this. It's so crazy. Alright, finally gets cleaned up. Oh no, Terran's not quite in position just yet. Gotta siege up these tanks. Here we go. But it looks like there's just way too much Zerg here. Gonna clean this up. Some nice irradiates go off. Deathstar pushing into the 3rd base of Okoini. We'll see if this is successful or not. Hint, it won't be because of all the siege tanks in the back. Kaboom. Okay, we got like a line of Hydras just chilling here. Denial of this base. Badass bunker still in place. This is the MVP structure. gonna clean some Hydras for free, that's good. Siege up. Back up. Good, Siege is up back here. Now you can take this fight. Actually a pretty good engagement from Zerg, considering that we took out quite a large number of tanks. Let's see where we're at here. More factories being produced for iRk-ocoini here. Zerg continuing the surge of units on this third. But with Terran mech reinforcements coming in, it looks like we still might be able to hold here. Deathstar continuing to push in relentlessly, no give. Starting to pick off a good number of SCVs as well, lowering that count. And now we're in a situation where the Terran SCV number has dipped below the Zerg drone number. A very, very dangerous situation to be in as Terran. In fact, losing the command center at the third here, another big stroke of damage being dealt to Terran. Take a quick capture of where we're at. Utilizing these irradiates on the Hydralisks, probably not the most cost-effective, but, well, when there's nothing else to irradiate, I suppose it's the right move. iRk-ocoini gonna try and retake this pseudo-high ground third. Probably not much left. Yeah. Half the gas left as well. Probably still worth retaking. Deathstar doing a good job of denying another Vulture raid down here, but there's Hydralisks in place to answer it with +2 Carapace. This won't do anything unless the mines can magically connect. They don't. What's the next step for Deathstar? Okay, +2 range upgrade on the way. Sure doesn't look like we will reach Game 3. iRk-ocoini being a really good sport about being on the losing edge here. Deathstar like, haha, I just want to win already. Maybe. Also trying to be a good sport about it. Yeah, by all accounts, it looks like Deathstar is poised to take game number 2 here. But Brood War is a game of comebacks. Should never count anyone out just yet. Nice line of siege tanks. Very beautiful. That's a wide amount of real estate covered. So good defensive posture here for Terran. We need to restabilize a little bit. How do we get back into the game from this position? We turn Zerg's vision off. What vision do we currently have? Not a whole lot. In fact, we don't really even see Zerg's army. What plays are available? Well, first, I think we probably need to get better eyes on Zerg. We don't see what the army is or its composition. We don't see how many bases. Of course, when you turn vision off like this, it blocks everything. Even when you have, even when you can actually see it. It's from that point on from the player's eyes. So obviously iRk-ocoini knows that there's more behind all this, but so here are the scans, and this is what I'm talking about. Now we can see the Zerg army. We can see its composition. It's grown significantly more in Zergling count as opposed to Hydralisk count. So that kind of telegraphs to us that Zerg is ready to translate into a late game with cracklings. And if that's the case, Defilers can come into play, and that can make a really, really difficult endgame for Terran mech that's slow in mobility and can get caught out by Dark Swarm. So, as I said, we can't count Terran out just yet. OttoRemmer is actually doing a really good job of stabilizing here and holding territory. Deathstar sending lots of units in, just in a straight line. Here's the Defilers. No energy for Dark Swarm just yet. Not on this one either. Both of them get irradiated. Very good targeting from OttoRemmer. And with the siege tanks here, yeah, we're just gonna splatter the Hydras. No problem. 2-1 upgrades versus 2-2. Nice clutch defensive matrix. Saves this tank, no doubt. And the battle is over, and the center of the map now belongs to OttoRemmer. Very well done. Good job. Fantastic. Okay. Ultra Tech on the way. Not sure if this is really where we want to go. Mines and siege tanks do pretty well against Ultralisks. Even if you have Dark Swarm, it could still be quite a pain. And Siege Splash can still hit you. And are we starting to see the tables turn? Just a little bit. This is quite a formidable force of siege tanks. And the siege tank is one of those units where the more of them you get in a group, it's like the more exponentially stronger they become. Oh, Mutalisks. Yeah, brilliant. What a great way to deal with tanks. Why didn't I see that coming? Great Irradiates do go down and knock out the majority of the Mutalisks, but the Dark Swarm comes down and surrounds the tanks. They're forced to unsiege. Ultralisks are now out on the map. We'll see if they can pull their own weight. All the Mutalisks now wiped out. We got a nice vessel count. Could be a little bit bigger. But with no Scourge on the map to deal with these vessels, it can only grow unless they get picked off from Hydras. Or Plague. Yeah, it's a lot of damage for one mine. Like, it's just, I don't know if Ultras are the play. We've invested a lot of money into getting the range upgrades. But do we have any melee? Okay, here's the Scourge. Oh my god. Alright. Here's the Scourge. Alright, Deathstar finally recognizing that the Vessel Cloud's getting a little out of hand. Yeah, we have no melee upgrades for Zerg. Though I suppose what really matters with the Ultralisk is the Carapace, right? You get the unit for its tankiness, really, not its DPS. Lots of scans going down. Checking out the front lines here. Gonna see quite a good number of Hydralisks mobilizing. Good Irradiates going down on those Ultralisks. And yeah, with the low number of Goliaths that are here, we just can't protect all of the vessels from a huge cloud of Scourge closing in on them. So we're left with 2 vessels here. The siege tanks are doing an excellent job of fending off these Hydralisks. Yeah, we're doing a really good job of turning this game around. Terran Mech now sitting on 3-2. Sieging this base. Ooh, this hatchery's about to go down. Down it goes. Very nice. And Terran just starting to kind of put a wedge in the door, not letting Deathstar close it. No, I'm going to stay in this game. OttoRemmer proving she has what it takes to stay in this game and put the series into game number 3. Fight, fight, fight. You can do it. Okay, so we have the Ultralisks here. There's 4 plus a Hydra. A couple Sunkens. And it's not going to hold off this. Alright, cracklings will definitely help. +1 melee, finally kicking in for Zerg. A Zerg attack on Terran's third, but will be fended off pretty easily. And Deathstar throwing out the GG, realizing the tables have turned. So very cool. OhCoini taking game number 2, putting this series 1-1. Score screen. Somewhat close. Terran outperforming just slightly. Putting a point on the board here. And that brings us into game 3 for series number 2. My, how close it is tonight. We're getting to see a lot of butter. Here it is, game number 3 between Deathstar and OhCoini on butter. Week 12 CPL Season 8 semifinals. Getting into this, spawning into the top right position as Purple Protoss. Once again as Protoss, it is iRk-Clans OhCoini. And in the bottom right, once again as the Blue Zerg, it is Deathstar. A lot of ways to victory there for you, yes. Curious to see how these two players' playstyles will translate on a two-player map. Now that we're coming down to the wire with just one game left. Reminiscing about last game. Should have just stayed low-key on Sandbill Hydra. It's probably not a bad idea. So where, ooh, what do we got here? That's a 9 pool. So 9 pool, no extractor. So no extractor trick. This is just going to be a standard 9 pool economic opening if we're not getting speed. So we'll expect to see the hatchery go down at the Nat relatively soon. OhCoini going for the Forge Fast Expand opening, just as in game number 1. Oh. Interesting. Alright. Deathstar decided to spend all of the larvae on drones, regardless of the fact that he opened 9 pool. Very curious. Perhaps this is some sort of mind game. Did it work? Well, there's one cannon going down for OhCoini right now at the natural. 2 pairs of lings. Uh-oh. Yep, we didn't catch sight of this probe here. So there are possibilities. Ah, Deathstar. Little vigilant. Remembering that there's a probe in here. Sends the Zerglings in. Gotta clean that up. No shenanigans. 2 cannons. Oh, look at the placement. Is this normal? Is this how you do it? That's really cool, actually. I don't know if that's right, but 2 cannons stacked like vertically instead of horizontally in this position. That's interesting. Third base being taken for Deathstar. Okay, this is normal when you scout a fast expand from Protoss. Scouting probe's still alive. Very good. A very important thing when you want to determine whether or not your opponent is going to Hydra bust you, the best way to figure that out is to just keep your scouting probe alive and moving in their base. Okay, we see Deathstar has the means to make a lair, but has not yet. Okay. Which dog? You guys. Messing with your food bowls. I have 2 Shiba Inus, and they're very spoiled. Okay, starting to get this natural expansion saturated with drones. Zergling's still chasing around this probe. This probe's still alive and scouting. Awesome. So Deathstar committing to lair. Third base pops. Cybercore on the way. And this is kind of opening up into a very normal looking Zerg versus Protoss game. The sassiest dog breed. Yeah, Fuzzy Branch. If you haven't had the pleasure of being in the company of a Shiba Inu, let me tell you how sassy they are. They are quite sassy. Cannon's gonna clear up these scouting Zerglings, or the Zerglings that were just chasing this probe anyway. Scouting probe gets away with some minerals. Here we go. And a Hydralisk Den goes down for Deathstar regardless of the layers, so perhaps the layer was a fake out, and we're just going to do Hydralisk pressure behind this. We will find out. Stay tuned for more. Yeah, we're getting the Evolution Chamber, probably for the ranged upgrade, Macro Hatch for more production. Yeah, it looks like we're just going to be low econ, massing Hydras. You've had Huskies, so it's similar. Oh yeah, I would never own a Husky. I don't have the land for them. That's a dog breed that has to move. They have to have the great outdoors. They gotta run. Those are dogs that are meant to move. I just don't have the space for them. But respectable, sassy breed, for sure. That's my analysis, my dog breed analysis. Okay, group of speedlings for Deathstar coming in here, but with 3 cannons, a lot of them are gonna fall. Only 3 get into the main base. Now, okay, OttoRemmer decides we're not gonna play this risky at all. We're gonna pull the probes, send him back to mine. Loses just 1. Try to fight these lings off. It's a bit of an annoyance, but every second all of these drones or probes are not mining, that's economic damage done. So, although all the Zerglings do end up dying, a little bit of economic damage gets done. OttoRemmer going into range for Dragoons. And gateways. 2 gateways at 7.5 minutes. I feel like I was a little bit shy. Don't quite have the production. Deathstar going into a 4th base here. And yeah, starting to produce Hydralisks. Making lots of creep colonies for defense. Both players kind of playing on a cautious edge here this game, but could you blame them? It's game number 3, and this one determines the series. So what do we have? We actually have, I can't believe I missed it, but we have Shuttle Reaver play from OttoRemmer. This is crazy. I love seeing this. Okay, Protoss Force is going to come up here and confirm this 3rd base, packed with sunken colonies. That's not really breachable. Good. More gateways being thrown down. This is exactly what's needed at this point. Fourth base for Deathstar popping. Missile attack, about to complete, 80% done. That is +1. Deathstar Zerg forces starting to mobilize across the map. Looking for a potential third base here. Not gonna find it. Gotta keep eyes on where that shuttle is. Gotta pick up that Reaver. Oh, yeah, you want to push up here when there's a Reaver here? No, you don't. But now you know that Protoss has Reavers. +1 ranged for Zerg has kicked in. Double Reaver shuttle. Going across the map. OccoIni gonna take this third base here, forming a triangle instead of a straight line of bases. This base has the high ground, so it might be easier to defend. Places a pylon right here. Very nice, which will block this ramp. Not completely. Units such as Zerglings can still fit in through the cracks here and here. But for Hydras, I think that's a full block. Protoss getting a pretty nice surround here on these Hydras. And with the Reavers being dropped, as long as the Reavers don't get sniped, I think this is probably going to end up in Protoss's favor. Really decent micro here. Ooh, can't lose any of these. Alright, loses a shuttle, loses a Reaver. But Deathstar loses all of the Zerg forces that are on this side of the map. Oh, Scarab. Oop, dud. Scarabs are so dumb. Alright, so how does this work? More Zerg coming across the map. Good snipe on the probe. This will get cleaned up, no problem. This base will be held because Protoss is here and in position. Zerg has to try and fight up the high ground here. Yeah, this is not going to work. Alright, back down the ramp. Very good. Lots of cannons. Okay, 2 additional cannons being built right here. Nice position. Hydralisks in place between the Nat and the 3rd to intercept units in between. And Deathstar getting a lot of picks. Wait, that's a goon. How did it get there? In this little structure, whatever that is. Yeah, and there we see more the shuttle play. 2 High Templars and a Reaver in a 26 HP shuttle. That's so much riding on such a risky edge. Alright, so we're ferrying units back and forth between the high ground here because Zerg has control of the low ground here with the number of Hydralisks. We can't just send units by ground. OccoIni realizes that and ferries units back and forth by the shuttle. I really like that. Now realizing that Zerg is focusing the attention mostly on the natural, the siege has begun. Ferries back 2 Reavers. This is going to cause probably a withdraw. I mean, Zerg really shouldn't push this against 2 Reavers. Okay, yeah, good. And this is going to be super duper hard to push up when there's 2 High Templars with Storms ready as well. And 5 cannons. Yeah, this base is pretty secure. Where is Zerg at, though? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, almost 5 bases. Now 5 bases. Protoss is on 3. The 3rd one's not really mining yet. We are mining gas, which is super important. In this matchup, anyway. And Protoss continuing to slowly bleed little amounts of units here and there, which unfortunately will add up in the end. Sir, what are you doing? My dog is being a jerk. He's up in the windowsill. He probably sees a cat. Get down. You're such a jerk. So where are we at here? Ooh, Clutch Storm. Actually nabs a lot of Hydralisks. And then the aggro pulls in more Hydras and they get blasted by the cannons. So good clutch move from OhCoini there. Zerg is going to decide, okay, now is the time where we just pull the trigger and siege. But will it work out? We still have cannons up. Oh no, the Reaver got picked off. Do we have a Storm ready? We do not. This High Templar does not have the energy required. There's not enough Zealots here to really make an impactful difference. With just +1 ground weapons on Protoss versus 2-1 on Zerg. Protoss slowly bleeding away units here, as the entire army is not all together. Deathstar feeling confident, gonna push into that natural again. Doesn't quite get the damage he's looking for. More cannons going up, lurkers being morphed. And now let's take stock of where we're at. Let's see what we have. 5 gateways for OhCoini, 6th one on the way. Lots of fairy play with the shuttle. Very cool to see. 3rd base, still pretty secure. But Zerg forces mustering right outside of the natural once again. And oh, rallied up a little too far. Nice Storm. Gonna capture all 5 of these Hydras basically for free. And not really a soft contain, a hard contain, really. Now, with the size of this Zerg army, outside of Protoss's natural, it's gonna make a real headache for them to try to bust out. We're gonna need to see observers. There they are queued up. We got the Reavers, we got the High Templars. Very gas-expensive composition. Beautiful Storm. Capturing more Hydralisks for free, getting those kills without losing any units. A sort of sneaky base over here on the left side of the map. This 3rd being watched by an Overlord. More Zerg units for Deathstar trickling in to support this contain. And yeah, this 5th base is now operational. We're taking the gas. And the siege continues for Deathstar, this time fully reinforced with lurkers. Clustered up a little too closely though and getting caught by that Storm. Beautiful Scarab there, catches a bunch of units including 2 lurkers. And OhCoini holds. False Storm, false flag. Walrus Willpower says, just started playing, and as Zerg, I always get stuck at this point. Is Lurker contain with expanding behind the way to go? It certainly is a very popular tactic, and the reason is because with a good wide Lurker contain, Protoss has a difficult time busting out of that without ranged Dragoons, Psystorm, or Reaver. Now, of course, here in this particular situation, we can see that OhCoini has all 3 of those at her disposal, but in a lot of games, it's not always the case. Oh, look at that. That's a forward hatchery for the siege. That's awesome. I love seeing this. And Deathstar also catching this hidden base here, so this for OhCoini is going to fall down. And now the dominoes are starting to topple, and Zerg looks like they're poised to take this game. But going back to what we were talking about before, yeah, Lurker Contain is incredibly powerful versus Protoss because to deal with it requires them to bust out of a choke, which is generally where you set it up. They'll need to use ranged Dragoons and Templars, and that will bust your Lurker field, which is why you want to micro with your Hydralisks and try to run up, snipe Templar, stop the Dragoons, and when they back out, you back out, and you continue your contain. But the short answer, from Protos's perspective, if you want to break out of the contain, probably your best option is to just build up first. Power up on whatever you have available to you. And then try to break once you have a couple storms built up and ranged dragoons to support you. You'll need those ranged dragoons to break the lurkers. Alright, so here we see OttoRemmer really starting to run out of options as the main base dried up resource-wise. Natural dried up completely. Third base is still mining. We have gas income and mineral income, but only on one base realistically. Zerg still has an incredibly powerful death grip outside the natural, which is a big deal because the natural is the ground pathing for all of Protos's reinforcements. This is where all of the gateways are. The gateway units have to come out. They're probably rallied to about here. They would have to come out this way and then down through the choke. If they can't get past the choke, then Zerg can do whatever they want on the map, and we're seeing that. Now we're seeing... So, what I'm going back for this one. I'm going back for that. That was pretty awesome. Alright, so OttoRemmer apparently gets a shuttle out. We gotta highlight this because I saw so many dead drones. I want to see where this comes into play. Right here. Sneaks in a shuttle from underneath. Reaver High Templar gets a nice storm off right here. Look at this play. Look at this. Filthy. Awesome. Oh, yeah. We'll get cleaned up. Okay. This Reaver here has no answer until Deathstar sends units to clean it up. Mining shut down. Lots of drones killed. I mean, it's not really super consequential because if we look, it's 55 probes to 54 drones, which it's all the drones that Zerg really needs to be economically competent. So... Alright, here we see a big bust coming out from OttoRemmer. Gonna try to bust out of here. Even sending probes into the front line to try and tank up shots, maybe? Good number of storms going down. Well-placed storms, too. Gonna get a lot of value. Oh, the storms are so good. So we have a good number of High Templars. 5 here on the field. Losing a couple here and there. Morphing Archons with the ones that have no energy left. Dragoons here, but Protoss is still kind of slowly bleeding off army. And right now what we really need... stacked storm, that's unfortunate. What we really need is a lot of extra Protoss military. Not really the specialist type units, but more Zealot Dragoon. We need some muscle to push through this. If OttoRemmer cannot get outside of the base here, she will lose the game slowly and steadily as Zerg just continues amassing off of all of these bases that we see here. And we can't really afford to be losing little bits of Protoss units over the course of the entire game like this. Little bits here and there. It's going to add up so fast. This third base here for Protoss, unfortunately, going to get shut down. Oh, please cancel this. Okay, gets the cancel and the refund. Okay, Protoss will respawn and take back this third base location. More Hydralisks trickling across the map. Deathstar doing a good job of just seizing control of the entire bottom side of the map. So here we see in kind of a bit of desperation to continue mining. Most of the probes are just sent up this way because this is the next source of mining anyway. Deathstar full on engaging with a nice pack of Hydralisks close up on Protoss before anything relevant comes out. Big storm comes off, hits, kills a lot of Hydralisks. Another great storm comes off, kills a couple more. It looked like a few of those might have been stacked, though. A third fantastic storm comes out. But I don't know, guys. Like, it looks like Deathstar just has too much muscle. He's just too bulky. There's too many Hydras here. There's not an answer. Like, I'm not really sure from here how OttoRemmer can stay in the game. Right, the storms are just fantastic. Like, just all of the storms this game, almost all of them have been just so great. Right on cue. Protoss would be dead right now had the storms not been on point. Okay, additional creep colonies going down here. Pressure continuing. And yeah, Deathstar just going to slowly wedge his way into Protoss's base. We'll kill off most of the reinforcements, or at least the strong parts, the Zealot Dragoon parts. Magic Box Storm right there. Gets both the lurkers, but they're still alive. What do we got here? Gateway's on full production, but I mean, we're still on 6 base for Zerg. 12 Hydralisks in production, starting to hatch. So many macro hatcheries. Goodness me. Storm captures those 2 lurkers, kills them, gets the value. OttoRemmer still managing to hold on. The game is not over yet. The shuttle play is also super impressive because of how micro-intensive it is. And we see it all game. And it's getting some pretty decent value. It's just unfortunate that OttoRemmer's not really in a position to be taking advantage of gains from it. Like, we're still kind of trapped here. This base is starting to mine out. Deathstar took the 3rd base here with a hatchery. And it's spreading creep, which will take a long time to dissipate. So even after the hatch dies, it'll still deny space for a little while. I gotta say, I like and respect the shuttle play and the ferrying play. It's probably hard to do, but I don't think it was really enough. Like, lots of cool plays we saw from it. Good amount of value generated, but it causes us to be lacking on the army department, which is what we need to bust out of this contain. And yeah, continuing to ferry units to this 3rd base, but I don't think it's really... There's lurkers here burrowed now. Call it quits. You're not going to bust it, right? So resources running dangerously low at this last base running for OttoRemmer. Still a good healthy amount of gas left to mine, but without minerals, we're going to be stuck without the muscly parts of the Protoss army that we really need to bust out of here. Attention expensive, yes. Yes, sir. Mr. Dog. Mr. Dog. He's being a brat again. There's a cat outside. Recall would have been good way earlier. Yeah, refrigerator. I gotta agree with you there. Refrigerator. Saying that recall is the perfect way to get out. If we're stuck and locked in the base, bunch of Zerg stuff, you sneak a Arbiter out, recall outside, punch a hole through, maybe you can pinch your way through the contain that's killing you. But here we don't see a way to deal with it, and we don't see a way to get out. The ferrying from the shuttles is cool, but I gotta agree with you. Recall would have been nice earlier. And it's cool that this is a long, drawn-out game. Again, we're getting another like 30-minute game packed full of action, but it's very clear when you just look at the minimap and see the amount of control seized by Deathstar that this game is just about over. So props to OttoRemmer for playing really cool games, showing us some really cool mech Terran that worked out fantastically, trying her heart out with Protoss to make this work, landing some fantastic storms all across the board. So much red, I have to agree, so much red. The storms are so great, and the Reaver play was pretty good. It's just unfortunate with some of the moves, some of the ways that ended out. Look, even still trying to make things work here. But Deathstar has a pretty strong handle on macro Zerg and how to put a good end to a game versus Protoss. And I imagine we'll probably be seeing a GG here from OttoRemmer in the next minute or two at least. There's not a lot of options left. Right? This is the last mineral field here. Can't punch our way out of any base. Lurkers contained everywhere. There's just too much Zerg. Oh, the storm catching the High Templar. GG, OttoRemmer calls it. Deathstar will take the series 2-1. And for a 30-minute game, look how close these scores are. Wow, good game. That was a fantastic Game 3 on Butter. One of the most fantastic CPL Zerg versus Protosses I have seen on a two-player map, hands down. Cool. That ties us up 1-1 with 2 series left. The next series that we're going to get into is between Protoss player Escalade and Zerg player CamoDaz. Both players I am somewhat familiar with. Can't wait to see what they're both bringing to the table here. No, yeah, you're right. I marked that wrong. Wrong side. My bad. I caught it. I caught it. All right, yeah, 2-0. 2-0. Deathstar won that series. Okay, you guys are right. Blame the dogs. You damn whippersnappers and your shenanigans and your... Would you get off the windowsill? I can't, these dogs. Shiba Inus, never get one. All right, where are we at? We're here, of course, back at Polypoid. It feels like home. Because it's game number 1. For series number 3, we're going to fire it up right now. Here we go, starting a brand new series. But still the same matchup spawning in the bottom left corner as the purple Zerg. It is CamoDaz. And up here spawning in the upper left corner as the orange Protoss, it is Nom Clan's Escalade. With a manner, friendly, good luck, have fun. And CamoDaz returns it. Very nice. Good manner. So the Overlord Scout goes out. Will not find the Protoss base, unfortunately. Overlord on the way for CamoDaz. Pylon Scout. Drop it. There it is. Forge Fast Expand for Escalade. Gonna scout the top right. Isn't gonna fight Zerg. Find Zerg.
Mister, what are you growling at?
You're being such a bad dog tonight. Sends out not one, but 2 scouts to make sure that there's no early Zergling shenanigans coming. Respectable. Playing a little bit safe. Forge completes. We'll see a cannon, no doubt. There it is. Protoss finds Zerg. Finds the spawning pool at the over pool timing. Double cannon for Escalade, definitely respecting his opponent. Oh, if these Zerglings can catch this probe, that'd be pretty nice. Escalade runs out just in time. Get away. CamoDaz gonna take the gas before the 3rd hatch. A good response to seeing a Forge Fast Expand, as you can afford to take your gas before, since you're not threatened by any early Zealot harassment. Gateway going down. Here's the Nexus progress, about 40-45% complete. Third base about halfway done for CamoDaz. Starting to saturate the natural base. What are you doing, little girl? I've got 2 of them, a boy and a girl dog. The girl is 16 years old. The boy is 4. It's wild. Gas taken for Escalade. We're not mining it just yet, though. Cyber core going down, natural popping. A very normal looking Zerg versus Protoss. Camo continuing to drone up. Layer about to complete. If the tech choice is a Spire, that'll make this a 3-base Spire, which is a standard opening versus Protoss. And there's our Spire. Okay. Next move, prediction, possibly a Stargate. Or maybe a Citadel. The choice for Escalade will be a Stargate. Zerglings parked outside the Nat. Gonna check for move-outs, very good. Zealots in production consistently from this gateway. Probes consistently being produced, very good. Another gateway in production. Zerg starting to macro power up with the hatcheries. There's one here. Positioned appropriately to block the ramp. Very good. Another one to go right here at the 3rd. Evolution chamber. A Hydralisk den should accompany this as well. There it is. And a creep colony just to be safe. Creep colony here as well just to be safe. Kind of in the way of the gas, but we'll see what kind of an impact that actually makes on mining. Evolution chamber pops. Standard would be to go for +1 missile. Protoss adding another cannon, getting natural gas, getting +1 ground weapons, still massing Zealots, sitting at 5. Citadel is complete. Zealot legs started. Corsair gonna come in, get a nice scout off. Ooh, look at the Scourge interception. Oh, that was nice. Get that other one. Great. So CamoDaz does a real good job of intercepting the very first Corsair. It's quite a big deal. But Escalade gets it in all the way to the main. So it gets a scout off, sees the Hydra Den, sees the gas, sees the lair, the spire, and should be able to recognize that this is a pretty standard opening. Scourge for CamoDaz, scouting the Protoss base. Came over here and saw all this as well. So fully aware of all the tech here. 2 cannons being made at the main base. This is very defensive. Typically we just see 1, and it's near the Stargate, and that's to protect from Zerg camping their Scourge to kill Corsairs that are being made, and also to protect the mineral line as well. Even a 3rd cannon going down, so Escalade playing super duper safe. 2 cannons here at the natural mineral line as well, so I'm very worried about the potential of Mutalisks. But as we see, Mutalisks wasn't really the option of choice for CamoDaz, it was Hydralisks. And these Zealots are going to find them. Fortunately, speed kicks in. +1 ground weapons, not done just yet. And Zerg trading quite efficiently. Gonna take all of these Zealots down and still have forces remaining. Let's take a look at here. Healthy looking 3rd. Camo gonna test the front. With 3 cannons here, that's not gonna happen. Backs off. Very good. Respect. Rallying more Hydras up to the front lines. And yeah, now it's just a lot of Hydra massing and an attempt to bust is my guess. Yep, here we go. 1 cannon goes down. That's 2. Gonna back out of range of the last cannon to fight. Very smart. And I don't know, guys. This is a lot of Hydralisks. And all the front cannons are down. I don't know. I don't know. The Dark Templar is cool, but there's a Speed Lord here already with 11 health. And yeah, even with the additional photon cannons in the back, oh, an awesome Psionic Storm right there. That was fantastic. I don't know. I think it might not be enough. I think CamoDaz might have just muscled his way through game 1 here. The only reason this is going to work is because reinforcements are continuing to trickle in. Were all of these not coming in, in fact these should all be sent in right now. Okay, they are, that's good. Then Escalade might be able to hold, but these are moving in right now, and Protoss does not have the forces necessary to defend against this push. Awesome Storm, but just not enough. Oh, now we're losing valuable probes. Natural Nexus under siege. CamoDaz decides to move up the ramp. Probably a good idea. Takes out these Zealots that were defending and the Dragoons that popped out of the gateways. Now Protoss has no army remaining. What is Escalade to do? Additional cannons warping in, but honestly, it's a little late. 4 Dark Templars in production, but again, it's just too late. Oh, it's unfortunate. I feel like we were preparing for Mutalisks and then Hydras showed up and you're like, oh, well, my pants are down and I've been caught. LOL, GG. GG. And CamoDaz takes game number 1. Fairly close scores. Okay, this is actually correct this time. Yep, CamoDaz gets a point. Good game, not bad. That brings us into game number 2. Same week, so same map, Neosulfid. Bring you in, let's start it up. Here we go, game number 2 in the series between CamoDaz and Escalade, spawning in the top middle again as the purple Zerg. It's CamoDaz. And spawning in the bottom left of Neosulfid is the orange Protoss. Again, it is Nom Clan's Escalade. Okay, so we had an Overpool opening and a Forge Fast Expand for game number 1. It would be very interesting to see deviations from these. But if we see the exact same thing over, it could just be a stylistic choice for the players. So Overlord coming for CamoDaz. And yeah, Refrigerator pointing out nice vertical mining. Nice vertical mining. Gateway, Overpool. Very standard openings so far. The only thing non-standard is the positioning here of this gateway. Kind of telegraphs to me that Escalade's going to put a second gateway right here. Boom, baby. Tell me I called it. Alright, so a 2 gateway opening in base for Escalade. A potential standard opening versus Zerg. I think standard is a fast expand, but this is starting to see more popularity nowadays. And I partially blame Tasteless for this and his YouTube channel because he keeps doing this strat. Natural going down for Zerg. It's about the right time. 1 pair of Lings. Very good. Two pairs of Lings. Alright. 3 pairs of Lings. Okie day. Alright. Scouting probe lost immediately. The onus is on CamoDaz to make a move in the hidden darkness. This darkness. See, Protoss players? This is what happens when you lose your probe too early. You can't see anything Zerg's doing. Fortunately, Escalade has the 3 Zealot. That usually moves out. Okay, yeah, it's moving out. This should be able to get a little bit of scouting information and also hopefully apply some pressure. But as we can see here, CamoDaz has fielded a healthy number of Zerglings. This should be able to deal with the Zealots, no problem. Even more coming out. In fact, yeah, with Zergling speed being researched right here, this looks like a 2-hatch Zergling all in. Oh yeah, Escalade sees this and immediately turns around and is like, oh crap. Alright, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? Turns around again, turns around again. Additional Zealots reinforcing. I'm going to need those. And just the number of Zerglings. Look at the number of Zerglings. This is most certainly a Zergling all-in. And now we're just waiting for speed to kick in, really. Escalade decides to pull the trigger and engage on these Zerglings, but the surround is pretty good. Unfortunately, Escalade going to be losing all of these Zealots, but not before fractioning out the Zerglings. And here we can see a lot of Speedlings, now that speed is done, flowing across the map. Let's see what Escalade has ready to prepare. 2 Zealots, 2 probes. Is this enough? And they're not in position just yet. If CamoDaz finds a way to get in and he gets in the base, this is starting to look pretty bad for Protoss here. Only 1 Zealot left. And these 2 gateways just now started producing. But here we see cannons that have been placed down for Escalade. Part of that defensive playstyle that he has shown us. So, oh no, the probe pull. We're going to lose extra probes here. I think we could just chill out with the probes. The cannons will protect them. We're probably going to lose the gateways. I don't know. This is a real tight spot to be in as Protoss. As we can see from a larger perspective, more Zerglings are poised to trickle in. So with the reinforcements, even with the cannon warping in here, I don't think it's enough. Zealots that just popped out are going to fall here, no problem. Getting surrounded by these Zerglings. Another Photon Cannon and Zerg in a really, really good position. Forcing all these extra cannons here, wiping out all the Zealots, completely muting the entire power of the 2-gate opening. And now we see CamoDaz starting to drone again, getting the Spire. An interesting and probably great tech choice in this particular circumstance. Escalade going to try to push his way out with 4 Zealots here. Going to take the fight. CamoDaz on the active with his control group of Zerglings, only losing 2. Jumps back in. Careful not to fight around the choke. And we see the dance of death between the 2 players as they micro their units around. CamoDaz starts to think better and decides to do a full-on retreat with the Zerglings. Even making 2 creep colonies, canceling 1. Spire's about to pop. 6 Zealots moving out across the map. Going to try to put some pressure on CamoDaz, part of a counterattack. Escalade going to try to do his best to probably retake and seize the territory around his Nat, take the Nat Nexus, sending in even more Zealots. 4 more going to reinforce the already 6 that are across the map. And here we see, okay, another commitment to the 2nd Sunken Colony, so changed his mind about changing his mind. Mutalisks pop out, and here we see a nice group of Mutalisks that don't have an answer. So these Zealots are eventually going to get picked off. That puts the pressure on Escalade to do something. Escalade pulls the trigger, moves in with the Zealots, but against 2 Sunken Colonies, a bunch of Zerglings, and Mutalisks that'll pick them off for free, decides that the game's probably over. Too much damage was done, calls the GG. CamoDaz is going to take it. Good game. Score screen. So with that, CamoDaz will take the series 2-0. And that leaves us with 1 series left tonight for the cast. It'll be a Terran versus Zerg between SlipItInCIDER and Inteon. And we shall begin in approximately 3 minutes. We're going to take a brief intermission. So go ahead and get up, use the bathroom, stretch, grab a drink, do whatever you got to do. And we'll be back very shortly. Alright, and we are back. Let's close this stream out with the last series for tonight. Got a Terran versus Zerg, SlipItInCIDER versus Inteon. Gonna find the replays here. Boot up game number 1, go to game scene here. And this is it. Between 2 Furious and GOSU for week 12 in the semifinals, this will be the last series for tonight's cast for Tier 2. Spawning in the lower left as the blue Terran is SlipItInCIDER. And spawning in the top left is the pink Zerg. It is Inteon. Game number 1 for week 12, always on Polypoid. Inteon sending that Overlord out, unfortunately in the wrong direction. The correct direction for the game, but... Or actually, is it? Actually, I should be sending it down to bot left. I think you always want to send your Overlord towards wherever your nearest natural is relative to you, in which case this would be the nearest natural relative to you. Because you want to scout the natural first as Zerg. I mean, it's just a minor optimization, but, you know, it's there for anyone who wants it. SlipItInCIDER going for a little bit of a defensive posture here, possibly walling off this ramp. Got the Overlord on the way. Probably going to see some additional workers made after this. There they are. So this is a light telegraph that this will be a 12 hatch opening. Super standard versus Terran. There's our scout for SlipItInCIDER moving up. Barracks here, supply depot here, and that'll form a complete wall. Minor gap here, I believe Zerglings and Marines can fit through. Okay, so 12 hatch, 11 pool. A 10 gas would make for a standard 2 base tech. There it is. And the Zerg drone scout. Gonna come in and find Terran. And slips in past the wall. Gets the scout, sees no gas. You guys saw that, right? You guys saw that sick block? That Marine just face punched that drone, stopping it from scouting the CC. That was truly awesome. Cool play from SlipItInCIDER right there. Meanwhile, back in Zerg's base, this one SCV is putting on the work on this spawning pool. Stuff like this can really actually add up. And towards late game, you can get a drop in and quickly snipe that structure off. I'm just saying, it can happen. 4 Zerglings here for Inteon. Gonna start droning up behind it. Layer. Although for the 3-minute 30 mark, I must say the layer is quite late for a 2-hatch play. Bunker at the front for SlipItInCIDER. This is a very defensive and safe play. You don't necessarily need to get this versus Zerg if you don't think you need it, but if you think you need it, go ahead and throw it down. See if we get a free Overlord pick here. No, it doesn't look like it. A little unfortunate for SlipItInCIDER, a little chance to get ahead there by just a nominal amount. Unfortunately does not get that opportunity. 8 Zerglings moving across the map here. Speed is being researched, but it's not anywhere near completion. We're going to take a look and see from Inteon's vision what the options look like they are. Okay, we do see the bunker. Can't see how many Marines in it, though. And Inteon's going to pull the trigger and go for the run-by with these Zerglings. And gets by with 6. A couple of them are injured, but 6 is a very substantial amount. Two SCVs down so far. 2 Zerglings down, 3 SCVs. Wow, looks like we got some worthwhile damage here out of Zerg. Oh yeah, another SCV down there. Alright, so 20 SCVs to 16 drones. 21 to 16. Now, a 5 worker discrepancy. More speedlings going across the map. Spire on the way. Some drones being made behind. Now, we gotta remember that every single pair of Zerglings could have been a drone working for our economy. And we're teching into mutas, so we're going to be a little bit behind on the economic front for Zerg here. We won't see a perfect 6 mutas come out at that 5:30 moment. And in fact, because of how late the layer was, the Spire isn't going to pop for some time, actually. Getting the creep colonies for emergency defense. A Vulture's out. That's going to be a problem. Now without speed, speedlings can surround it and kill it. But Inteon doesn't really want to deal with that and just backs the Zerglings out. Quickly teching up to the tech tree, the 111 opening here, getting another Vulture, has the starport, control tower being added on, so probably either dropship or cloak. Academy. So super fast tech play coming out of SlipItInCIDER, and super aggressive Zergling play coming out of Inteon. We have the Hydralisk Den, but nothing out of it just yet. 2 Mutalisks in production. And we're going to see if these Speedlings can catch this Vulture here. If they don't, surely the Sunkens will. There it is. I actually should have turned Zerg's vision off to see if he saw the Mutalisks or not, but I don't think he did. Gonna land this engineering bay up here to block this off. Dropship. Okay, the play was dropship. This is such a big dice roll, though. I mean, it's so early in the game, we don't really have a lot of units, we don't really have a lot of military or infrastructure to back it up. And we're going to go dropship and try to make something happen. High risk, high reward. And away it goes. We'll see if SlipItInCIDER can make a play happen out of this dropship. Inteon's Mutalisks, only 4, moving around the edges of the map. Gonna engage Terran's main here. There's no missile turrets, so there's nothing to cover. But it's only 4 Mutalisks. Actually sniped the starport, so all that value is lost. Okay, Valkyrie plus Goliath, and a missile turret up here. This will clean this up, no problem. Oh, hold on. I missed it. We can't have that. No. I can't miss that. Alright, so he's got the dropship, right? He's going to drop in the main. There's the dropship. Alright, here's the goods. He loads it up. I'm not missing this action at all. There we go. So we saw what happened with the mutas. Now this is what happens up here. It looks like this drop pays off. Oh boy, does it. Good number of drones killed. Oh, fantastic number of drones killed. Mining stopped for Inteon almost completely. Well, we still have the space running, so I guess that's alright. And these mutas will clean this up. But goodness me. And now it's 38 SCVs to 16 drones. And SlipItInCIDER is in a fantastic position to deal with Mutalisk aggression, having 2 Valkyries, a couple of missile turrets already set up, and yeah, I mean, like, the engage wasn't super good, but you just have the right counter and the right units to deal with this, so there it is. Inteon forced into a retreat. I'm surprised they're trying to take this mineral-only third here. It seems a bit risky. And now SlipItInCIDER is going to threaten these overlords unless Inteon can deal with this. With Hydralisks popping out, that should help. And 4 mutas here, definitely enough here to scare out away with the Hydralisks, but not by themselves. I feel like these 2 Valkyries could just turn and fight this. Leading into the missile turrets, Inteon not paying close enough attention, loses all of the remaining Mutalisks. Yep, literally all of them. And we're spending money and larvae on Hydralisks, not drones. More Hydralisks being massed up, so Inteon really on a super aggressive edge here. But as Zerg, when you go on the aggressive edge like this, it costs you economically. So we're going to see, unless Inteon can make something really magical happen with this Hydra Lurker push out that's about to happen, they're probably very likely to lose this game due to the discrepancy in economic action between the bases of the 2 players. If we just see, like, there's a lot of SCVs here for Terran, a lot here. Could have more, but we're at 49 versus 21. It's a big deal, so unless this attack right here does something critical, I'm going to have to just hand this game over to SlipItInCIDER. Alright, so a good initial engage from Zerg here. That is a lot of lurkers. And a good number of Hydralisks supporting. And Valkyries are going to be of no help here at all. Hydralisks now in Terran's main base. And no Terran units. Well, we do have a siege tank, I suppose. But it's like, oh my goodness. I believe this might be doing the critical damage that I thought was necessary. Oh no, if we lose all of these SCVs, oh, that's really serious economic damage being done right here. Mass SCVs repairing on the siege tank here, trying to clear out these Hydralisks. Most of them have been wiped out, but there's still not really an answer for these lurkers here that are burrowed. Scans go down, revealing the lurkers, but is it enough? It appears not. The scan wore off before the last lurker could be finished off. 2 lurkers remain. SlipItInCIDER forced to lift off the command center here to save it from taking further damage. Oh, we gotta burrow these lurkers. Alright, so I thought this turret would probably be in range for detection, but I guess it wasn't. The scan ends up clearing them out, though. Siege tank's in good position to do so. And what a blow dealt to Terran. But, is the game over? In fact, I may have missed it, but these Valkyries that were of absolutely no use in the main defending were sent across the map and actually took out some overlords. If we look, it's 36 out of 19 supply. So these Valkyries were putting in some work behind the scenes if we didn't even notice. Zerg going to try to take a 4th. Valkyries now being used to scout the rest of the map. I must say, the Valkyrie usage outside of the Mutalisk play is phenomenal this game. Way to put value into these units where they are valueless. Some Hydralisks gonna skirt across the map. No hive tech just yet. In fact, not even so much as a queen's nest just yet. So Inteon very committed to layer aggression. Valkyrie almost getting caught out. SlipItInCIDER does manage to save it. I'd like to see some nice repairs going down on that. Now we have, wow, 4 Valkyries. This is what you want against a meterless composition for sure, but Inteon switched out of that quite a while ago. Even has Scourge to deal with them. Unfortunately sends them in a little too deep, ends up losing them. Meanwhile, in the lower right, a ninja base being taken for SlipItInCIDER. Command center is completed. Hydralisks amassing on the mineral-only high ground third outside of Terran's base. No upgrades just yet. More Hydralisks in production. Finally, a Queen's Nest. Now the tech for Zerg can continue to advance, and wow, I almost didn't notice it, but there's only 2 drones mining. 3 drones now, mining in the main base. This is the price you pay when you go full aggro Zerg. And yet Inteon, finding ways to still stay in it by doing good amounts of damage to Terran's infrastructure. Terran has done a great job recovering though, and has an incredible defensive posture right here. Look at all these supply depots blocking out all this pathing, and siege tanks sieged up behind it. This is by all accounts impenetrable by ground. And SlipItInCIDER continuing to be super aggressive with these Valkyries, hunting down overlords. Look at the slaughter. Oh, it's beautiful. 58 out of 29 is now what Inteon has been put at, and another overlord probably going to go down here. Yep. 58 out of 20. Fantastic economical damage being done by SlipItInCIDER, reducing Zerg's potential maximum army count, halting further production. Alright, Terran looks like they're ready to start moving out. There's actually a gap just wide enough up here for all the tanks to fit out, so this is actually brilliant SimCity. Scan goes down up here, confirms the Hydralisk, sieges up, catches them all off guard, knocks about half of them out. I tell you, what a way to come back for SlipItInCIDER here. Great way to seize control back of your territory. You've got a ninja base that's really starting to come online. Inteon has no idea about it, hasn't sent a single unit down in the lower right, so probably won't find out about it for some time. Scan goes down for SlipItInCIDER, finds the mineral-only third operational with some Hydralisks there, and decides, yeah, I could take that, and moves out the army. Rolling out, led by Valkyries and science vessels. Here comes the Siege Tank Armada. Beautiful. Then we're going to crawl our way up, play a little bit of Siege Tank Leapfrog. And yeah, the Zerglings were probably a decent call versus tanks. That was a sick defensive matrix right there. SlipItInCIDER, no doubt, going to continue pushing up here. Oh, that was crazy. I saw a burrow starting to be researched. Inteon canceled it. What's happening back home? Are we macroing behind this? We're taking the middle only third. We're continuing to produce units. And we're sieging the mineral only third here for Zerg. And there's not much of an answer. I mean, well, there's a lot of Zerglings here, but after the Zerglings, what is there, right? Okay, so we have some pretty decent positioning here. Trying to form sort of a concave with the Zerglings to take out the tanks, but SlipItInCIDER doing a nice job of microing these tanks on the right side back and doing pot shots, stutter stepping. Now, Zerglings are a very good counter to siege tanks, but there's just too many tanks here. And now what's Zerg left with? Basically nothing. All these eggs you see here, Zerglings. 13 pairs of Zerglings in production. Every single egg you see here is a Zergling pair. And all the eggs that were here shelled down by the siege tanks, those won't get a chance to come into play. Got some here, but I mean, there's gotta be more substance. Zerg needs more muscle. They need an option. Something. Zerglings at this point in the game are more of a support unit. They're not really meant to be used solo the way they are here. They just die too quickly. And even though we have the crackling upgrade done and 2 carapace, they're still going to need a gas type unit to really put the muscle through to Terran. Lurkers, mutas, ultras. Okay, so this is actually a pretty fair engage from Zerg. We're seeing a lot of tanks go down, and really the power of crackling the adrenal glands upgrades from Zergling really shines through. It takes out all the tanks here up on this high ground with just a couple of Zerglings. But then we're left with the position that Inteon is still in, where we don't really have the production necessary or the tech capable of fending off a big, strong, organized mass Terran push like this. The reinforcements are continuing to trickle in. Alright, looks like the push from Terran is finally starting to lose steam. Take stock of where we're at. This bottom right base for Terran, the ninja base, really starting to pull its own weight, and in fact might be putting SlipItInCIDER ahead. The longer this goes unanswered, or even unfound to begin with, the more of an advantage SlipItInCIDER really gets. Potential 5th base to be taken here. Zerg units moving across the map. Gonna find some value here as there's no defense at this mineral-only 3rd for Terran. So these cracklings and hydralisks gonna fight. Pick off a couple of SCVs. Good fair reaction from SlipItInCIDER, pulling the SCVs away. Gonna clean up the Zerg forces here. And SlipItInCIDER starting to bleed tanks little by little. The tank count's almost been completely reset, and Inteon looks like they're starting to pick back up control of the map. This mineral-only 3rd base is going to go down entirely. The command center falls. Yeah, and here we just see good advances in the Zerg's skirmishing. Really putting in the cost effectiveness, like cracklings taking out tanks little bits at a time is really cost effective, so I think all of these trades are going really well for Zerg. And here we can see Inteon kind of starting to look around for bases, and eventually they're going to find them. And here we go. Like, this base is not going to survive. I'm going to go all the way into the main of the bottom right. Find all these workers here, threaten this. And with no defense here, this base is going to be shut down, and so will its natural. And so many SCVs are falling. Inteon finds the hidden SCVs that were pulled up into the top right part of this base and is going to take out every single one of them. A ruthless play. More Zerglings trying to take out some units in the natural here. Not quite doing a great job. Oh wow, actually gets the snipe on the command center. No cancel. 400 minerals out the window right there. Inteon really starting to find ways to pull in little bits of value. Taking them here and there. Both of these command centers lifted off, so these bases are completely offline. And now SlipItInCIDER is going to try to retake this mineral only third, try to stabilize. Good healthy number of vultures, mines on the map. Lots of Valkyries that aren't really going to be doing anything from here on out unless Inteon decides to switch into mutas. Good control here. Fourth base taken. Up and operational there. Good military here. Good military here. A large amount of drones made and mineral walking over, probably to over here. This SCB going to find Zerg's fourth base. Terran mining up. Defensive posture. Ah, battle cruisers. Alright. Don't know how I feel about this at this point in the game in this particular position. I feel like the battle cruiser is more of a support unit, and we need to be supporting an army that we already have, which we don't have much of. Like, Zerg's just... This force is going to get wiped out for Zerg, right? But they're going to trade rather cost-effectively. You look, even losing one of the battle cruisers right there. Units taking damage, losing a Valkyrie. Valkyries are expensive, losing tanks. Like, they're just trading so cost-effectively. And like I said, Terran will clean this up as this gets cleaned up. But Terran lost a lot just to defend that. A lot of expensive units. Tanks, battlecruisers, Valkyries. These are valuable units. And Inteon just continuing to trickle in with little bits of units. Little strike forces meant to disrupt. +1/+0 for ground mech. +1/+0 for air. All on the Terran side. For Zerg, +2/+2 missiles for Hydras and Lurkers. Melee, +1. These two Terran bases still completely offline. And Inteon super smart with the burrow research, burrowing the Zerglings to prevent these command centers from landing. Super cool. Good healthy amount of Hydras with very healthy upgrades. Gonna start moving out across the map. Scans going down. SlipItInCIDER is going to catch a nice glimpse of a Zerg army movement with some well-placed scans. Very intuitive. And Zerg is going to go for another wave, another attack wave. With the number of tanks here, this is pretty defensible. Inteon realizes that, pulls back. Good mineral saturation here at the fourth base. Good mineral saturation here at the third. Nat mined out, main, still faring alright. SlipItInCIDER, natural mained out, main mined out, mineral only third, operational, and that's it. Folks, this is a pretty tight game. And on siege, so potential posture for a move out here from Terran. And indeed, Terran's moving out on the map. Zerg forces remain steadfast. Alright, now this is pretty respectable. Inteon has to be pretty careful when deciding to engage this. If we can engage this in pieces and chunks, like when it's spread out like this, that'd be great. Here we go. Not too bad of an engage with the surface area for Inteon. Good amount of cracklings get through. We're starting to take out some tanks. It's not enough. As we can see, Inteon backing out, forced to reinforce with the remaining larva left. Huge rounds coming through. 16 pairs of Zerglings on the way. Scan's going down. Check the natural here in the top right. It's empty. And the strong tech of the Terran here. Gonna make it through. Gonna push through. And gonna be chased by all these cracklings. 2-2 upgrades on these cracklings. So here comes the engagement. Gonna get onto these siege tanks. A good number of them fall immediately. Great surround. SlipItInCIDER cleans it up, but a very cost-effective engagement, I think, from Inteon. With maybe the exception of the larva count, a lot of larva was used just to reduce the tank count there. Unsure if it's enough. Here comes some more Zerg. Gotta clean up the rest of these tanks, that's great. So the tank push has been stalled out. But there's no answer for everything left in the sky. We have some Hydralisks that are out on the map, but these 4 battlecruisers are just going to come up and wreck this base. Meanwhile, Zerg's still trying to make headway at the natural here. And it looks like a slow trickle of death for Zerg as Terran's found the right balance to be just efficient enough to be able to defend without taking too much losses here, at least against a consistent wave of Zerglings just trickling in. SlipItInCIDER manages to knock out the top right base for Inteon, putting him a little further behind. Lots of Scourge to answer the call. And not a single one manages to connect. So, SlipItInCIDER in a really great position here. Wow, not even a single Scourge is going to connect here after all of those eggs hatched. Lots more Scourge up here, going to come in from the flank. Takes out one battlecruiser. Couple connections happen, but no additional units taken out. And Inteon just bleeding Scourge, losing so many of them for free. SlipItInCIDER starting to make some real powerful headway with this Terran air army here. Hydralisks come in, knock out both of the science vessels. More hatch from the eggs. And it looks like this will be enough to clean up the remainder of the Terran air army here. Which actually is quite a lot of value. Wasn't enough damage done though. We knocked out another hatch, lots of units, the top right base is gone. That might have been a worthwhile attack. The bank is pretty strong for Zerg, and fairly weak for Terran. These bases are still completely operational, in the bottom right for Terran. And Inteon even sending some units down to deal with this, finish it off, seize control of this territory. Just a very, very aggressive Zerg player. We'll see if it manages to pay out. Inteon gonna go ahead and take the initiative, take the natural here, and the main here for the top right. Scan goes down for SlipItInCIDER. He catches a glimpse of this, sees that it's coming back online. And now small scale engagements in the lower right to try and seize control of that area. if SlipItInCIDER can retake control of the bottom right, I think there will be a fair future for trying to win this game. Oh, unfortunately, this CC going to get surrounded and picked off by the Hydras. And the more of this that Inteon seizes, the less options SlipItInCIDER has, because we're 34 minutes into this game. There's not really many mining bases left. Doing a good job taking out these drones here. But we're losing vultures, which are valuable units, because we're out of money and we need every single unit we can get. Good healthy number of tanks here. Yeah, see, this is about to mine out. And then we have a fourth base here for Terran, which will become the last mining base. SlipItInCIDER putting up some defensive supply depots here. Try and block. Got some mines out here. Starting to activate when the Zerg come near. Picking off a couple Hydras. Inteon probably sees that. Yeah, saw it. Sending more Hydras in. Spider-Man's doing a pretty good job. Super duper duper efficient. Sizable amount of cracklings remain in the middle of the map. A little disorganized though, as we kind of try and figure out how we're supposed to navigate the game from here. "22 SCVs to 21 drones though, so very close in worker counts. More free kills from spider mines. Vultures being super cost effective this game. Queens on the field. Vultures sneaking into another base, picking off some more drones. Yeah, we should see these vultures get cleaned up pretty shortly, but not before taking out quite a good number of Zerglings, being super cost efficient. Mines blowing up. Micro, hopefully. Alright, maybe not micro, but... Scans going down. Trying to check out what's happening in the lower right corner of the map. And another long game with a quiet battlefield. I gotta tell you, this week's tier 2, these guys are really edgy. Everybody's playing super defensive, very careful. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, but it's just like they were expecting the other team to be super dirty and cheesy or something. Everybody playing super careful. It's really cool to see, though. Like, I gotta respect it, like... Definitely. And especially if you know your opponent has a tendency to be a little bit more aggressive. Absolutely. Alright, so we see Inteon here starting to power up a little bit of drones. I have to agree with this decision because you're not under threat as Zerg. Might as well economize. You got the bases too. And we're sitting at really healthy bases. I mean, look at this. This is practically 2/3 of what it should be here. Gas still at 5,000, hasn't even been harvested yet. All of this is super healthy. Super parasite action from the queens, I guess. One looked like a broodlord, this one. But that's a parasite. Parasite Tanji. Cool. So Inteon's starting to build up a nice sizable queen count. It's only like half an hour into the game, though, before we saw even a single queen, so just putting on the showcase of just how aggressive Inteon is. It's super cool to see, but like now we're just getting into the tech stuff. And this is definitely the route you want to go against siege tanks, because these are super cost efficient if you can just let them build up energy. And Parasite's alright too. Like if we turn off Terran's vision, see that Parasite's really paying for itself by giving us vision of everything happening here. It's really cool. Parasite's super underrated. I think it's very, very, very underrated. If I'm ever in a comfortable spot in like a ZVT, I'll always make like a queen or two just for Parasite because of this. Stuff like this. So we got a good tank count. We can clone queens because we have vision. What's not to love? Okay, these Hydras should intercept these battle cruisers here. Picking at them a little bit. And now it's 40 minutes into the game, right? When you get super late into games like this, little things like picking off units, like picking off these siege tanks, become even more valuable. So the longer this goes, the more in favor of Inteon I think this becomes. We have queens banking up energy. We have Hydras taking pretty favorable trades against things like battlecruisers and siege tanks. Yeah, see, we're just getting free value little by little with the queens. There's not really a good answer to them. In my opinion, see, he wiped out the tank that had the Parasite on it. That's good value for Zerg. But the answer to queens, to this magnitude, like this many queens or more, is simply EMP. If you can find them, like scan them, find out where Zerg's hiding them, and get a vessel up here and EMP this, oh man, that's so much value lost for Zerg. It's good. Alright, so more Hydralisk poking here, and oh man, another command center going down sniped for Inteon. Excellent value captured. This late in the game, it's really going to add up. Remember, this is SlipItInCIDER's last mining base, right here. So we got to make this count. Now we see some scans that are going down. We'll find out where they are. Okay, we're searching middle and upper right. Here come a bunch of queens, though. One tank down, two tanks down. 3, 4, 5. Get it? Okay, 4. But yeah, now they can go back. And the safety behind the Zerg army, bank up more energy, and just do it again. We see a nice little vulture run by here at the top right, but there's Zerg here to answer it. And just the options for SlipItInCIDER are really starting to run dry. Yeah, like I don't really see too many options here. It's looking like a pretty dry game at the end here for Terran. We have these mining bases that are super healthy for Zerg. Zerg continuing to just pour out numerous units. Look at this mineral bank for Inteon. SlipItInCIDER's got a nice mineral bank too, you know. Anytime you have over 1,000, that's a pretty good bank. I think so. Inteon has no gas. Alright, that's kind of painful. You can make a lot of cracklings, but not a lot else. And SlipItInCIDER's trying to make everything work with the vultures, trying to pick off as many drones as possible. And they're good moves because they're working. You're killing the drones, but we're 33 to 33. The Zerg macro engine just can't really be stopped. You need to put more of a wrench into things. Like here, we just see Inteon just slowly building a massive army. 3-2 upgrades on range. 2-2 on melee. And it's, yeah, SlipItInCIDER's got to take another base. So we're going to stretch the units over the right side here, on the right side of the map. Try to seize control here. And hopefully take the bottom right again. Problem is, we have to muscle our way through all this Zerg first. And Terran will win this fight. But again, we took little losses. And Zerg is just comfortable bleeding units. They don't care. Beautiful cloning right there, done on siege tanks. 4 tanks go down immediately to Broodling. And Zerg can back up and just reset if they want. Just start funneling more siege tanks with the Hydras, picking them off little by little. "45 minutes. 45 minutes is a long game, and that's a lot of content to cast, too. In fact, all of the games for tonight's cast have been really long. Lots of 30-minute plus games. This has been a crazy cast, a lot longer than I expected. Alright, some decent mine connections, but yeah, just again, Inteon just finding the tanks. Slowly whittling them down, resetting that. Finding these BCs, whittling those down. Picking off the science vessels. These are big moves right here. This late in, with this being the entire economy of Terran, all of those picks were super valuable. Terran does not have much left, and this game is, in my opinion, pretty much over. Queen's just flying in. This is just scouting, because we look and see none of them have energy for Broodling, so they're just looking around. And that's good information for Inteon too, because now Inteon can say, okay, well, I see what you have. I see you don't really have a lot of army. I'm just going to move in with these Hydras and just continue picking more stuff off. Another CC to go down. It'd be really cool if we bring the Queens down to infest it. And here comes a significant Zerg attack wave. With the Overlord detection, the mines don't stand a chance. The siege tanks are really the only thing that will save this push. There's a lot of Zerg though. They pick off all the mines, pick off all the vultures. The tanks do save the day. They push the Hydras back, but the Queens are here. We got one Broodling going off. Battlecruiser is forced to reposition. And SlipItInCIDER gonna be playing on a very tight chessboard with all the pieces remaining. More Broodlings coming out, and every single Broodling that comes out really drives the nail deeper into the coffin that will seal the deal. These Battlecruisers both probably gonna go down. Both of them go down. More Hydralisks press on the siege. And this game should be over very shortly. More Broodling going down. Just really nice, solid Zerg play from Inteon here. Very aggressive throughout the entire game. Really keen on that aggression, grabbing value all throughout the entirety of the 48-minute game. I must say, well done. Definitely a GG earned and deserved for Zerg here. And not to say that SlipItInCIDER played poorly at all. No, no, no. This was a very cool game from Terran as well. Going directly for the tech route, seizing control of so much of the map. Vast majority of the siege tanks, splattering so many Hydras. Very fun game to watch and absolutely a fun game to cast, although quite tiring at 49 minutes. And at any second now, we should probably see a GG coming out of SlipItInCIDER as Zergs managed to successfully siege the main base, taking out a lot of the tech, a lot of the structures, a lot of the production infrastructure, etc., etc. More production, more reinforcements. This game is by all accounts over. Yes, even the 6 o'clock base now mined out. There is nothing left to mine. So a cool first game for the last series. Queen's gonna find the remainder of the tanks here. No energy just yet. Hydralisk's gonna assault the 6 o'clock base. 3-3 upgrades. Yeah, we should call it. GG, well played. SlipItInCIDER calls and Inteon takes game number 1. Score screen, identical APMs. That's really cool. Yeah, and Inteon will take game number 1. For the last series of tonight's cast, we'll go into game number 2. We'll see if SlipItInCIDER can bring it back and go 1-to-1, toe-to-toe. Or if on game number 2 on Neosulfate, Inteon takes it 2-0. So here we go for game number 2 on Neosulfate between Inteon and SlipItInCIDER. Tier 2, CPL Week 8, or Week 12, Season 8. Top center. I believe that's lime color spawn. As Zerg, it's Inteon. And spawning as the blue Terran in the lower right corner, it's SlipItInCIDER. So we're on Neosulfate, and the main to natural transition does not have a ramp. So that's always an important factor to consider. And I love how early this SCV is being sent out. Because there's no way that's a scouting SCV. That's way too early. And down a barracks goes in the middle of the map, and early game shenanigans have been declared. SlipItInCIDER going to go for some early game aggressive harassment. And we see the same on the side of Zerg as well, with what looked like a 4 or 5 pool. I didn't catch it. Goodness, alright, BBS. Barracks supply out of SlipItInCIDER. So, alright, Zergling's already on the way for Inteon. This is probably going to be a very quick game. 6 lings, 2 more on the way. Inteon's Overlord not finding anything on the left side of the map, so probably right side's where we should go. First Marine on the way. Will it be enough though? Even with this now pumping Marines. Can SlipItInCIDER figure out that he's about to get ransacked by a bunch of Zerglings? The answer is probably no. They're both cheesing each other, and Zerg just kind of got the quicker punch. The facial expression on his face as this is occurring. I wonder what it must have been. There is a counterattack moving out though. 3 Marines, 2 SCVs. Nothing to gawk at, that's for sure. And nothing at Zerg's base to help defend. All of these SCVs and Terran's main going down, falling to these Zerglings. Now if we could just lift the command center. Terran's rush is successfully impacting Zerg. We're killing all the drones, leaving just 1. 4 pairs of Zerglings on the way. They hatch. Get an okay surround on Terran. Taking out just 2 of the Marines, but 3 Marines remain. With the last Zerg drone dead, we have some Zerglings chasing around here. Another pair being made here. Yeah, the Terran CC has been lifted, which means Zerglings can't do anything anymore. So if Inteon cannot find an answer for this, SlipItInCIDER just wins the game. But it looks like Inteon managed to find the surface area necessary to clean out the rest of these Marines. We'll take out these SCVs as well, and that should be game. Zerg should win it. Inteon should be able to put a point on the board, bringing this series 1-1. As we can see, there's not enough minerals to even make a single Marine here. SlipItInCIDER has no choice but to forfeit at this point. And there Inteon is finding the barracks in the middle of the map. And when the barracks are floating, they can't be making Marines, so, you know, Terran's military is going to be lacking from this point forward. And I'm not sure. Oh, yeah. Losing another SCV. So 0 supply. There is literally no reason to stay in this game. I am actually going to fast forward because there's literally no reason to stay in this game. Like, this is kind of trolly. All right, have fun with it. Have fun with it. All right, very good. Inteon was very worried too. He saw the Marine. He was like, "Oh crap! There's something unaccounted for. There's something I must have missed. Marine's coming in." No, it literally is just the last option SlipItInCIDER had. And doing a great job spreading out the Zerglings, looking for the base. You know, there must be something behind all this if you stayed in the game. But no, GG well played from SlipItInCIDER. This is our score screen for our very cheesy last game. And that's it. Oops. That's what I wanted to do. There we go. And Inteon takes that series 2-0. And this puts us with a final score of 2-2 for the Tier 2 series of GOSU versus 2FAC2 Furious. And that also brings us to the very end of our cast tonight. It is currently 10:44 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. I'm running on fumes, but this is the end of the cast. That's all the series and all the matches that I have prepared for you today. If you stuck around for this entire time, I see I've got 6 viewers right now. Thank you so much for sticking with me. We've been live for 3 hours, 48 minutes, 36 seconds. And that'll be it from me today. We'll close this out. Keep following CPL streams for more coverage of the semifinals. We're just about done. And then we can get into the juicy finals and start covering that content, and that'll be super duper exciting. So, that being said, my next casts, I'll probably be doing 1 or 2 more next week. I don't know when, because I keep scheduling them and then I keep having to reschedule them and push them back because things in real life keep happening, but that's just the way it works. But anyways, this series is over. This cast is over. It's me, Forte from CPL. I was glad to cast this for you guys. I'll see y'all next time, probably sometime next week. Hopefully we'll be casting some of the finals. But that's all from me for tonight, so I'll see you all next time. Have a good night, everyone.